Yeah, almost certainly. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map bans here. Oregon border and then Nighthaven sneaking in there at the tail end. The first two are pretty bog standard here in this day and age, Carpi, but Nighthaven would be certainly an interesting one to see.
It would indeed. I honestly would like to go to a deciding map. I'd love to see a little bit of Nighthaven. I'm yet to view a Nighthaven comp game in NECC. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a cheeky peek at Nighthaven later tonight.
Yeah, that would certainly be something to see as watch these teams try and tackle it. And speaking of teams, here's one of them, GCU Esports. Batumba, Bozaroni, Clip, Smiley, an example right there. Like you said, saw them play in this time slot last week. Matumba has been around for a while as a very talented player, good leader for the team. Klimps as well. He's a caster. He's also a veteran player, bringing some good talent to the GCU side. They're all relatively talented guys, which and GCU actually to say Carpi has a decent reputation here in Rainbow Six Siege, which has made the season I think a little bit more frustrating for them. And they're definitely looking to try and get a win on the board here tonight.
Yes, I'm sure they will be keen and eager. But heading towards the St. Clair Saints lineup, we have a Rapid, Say My Name is Baka, Salty Boy, Corey Rob, and Roar.
Yeah, another lineup here that's struggling a little bit this season. St. Clair Saints have been a team that has been around here in the NECC, and certainly they're a team as well that probably feels like they're underperforming a little bit this season. So they'll be looking for a win here tonight. Both of them, I think, coming into this match relatively hungry. You talk about playoffs.
To Oregon. Operator bans, I mean, I reckon you're going to see the usual Thatcher, potentially a Dokkaebi starting it off. I mean, is GCU expecting a potential aggressive plays from St. Clair's? Is that why they've managed to get Ying off the board tonight?
Perhaps I feel like Ying is one of those choices where it's not normally a bad pick. It's just maybe there are things that are more useful that you could ban out. Certainly, though, Oregon has a couple of sites that lends itself well to Ying, and Flora is getting taken off there as well. Again, that used to be a very standard ban for Oregon just because of the util destruction that can be brought by a Flores. Nowadays, though, you might be more likely, I think, Capri, to see a Dokkaebi in that spot, but Dokkaebi will remain, so a very powerful attacking operator there in the pocket of the St. Clair Saints.
Yeah, gonna see Solace taken off the board, probably just because of the sheer utility that she can see. But not only can she see the utility, she can get rid of it. It's just such an operator that you can play in so many different ways. And to finish us off, we're going to see Fenrir. I mean, I've seen Fenrir get banned. I know some teams can absolutely hate him; they want him off the board always. They'll choose no one but Fenrir, but other teams don't mind. They play into the Fenrir. They maybe bring up Brava to change it up, use the gadgets towards their advantage. It really just depends on the map and what kind of team you're playing against.
Yeah, I mean, Fenrir in and of himself, I think, is garnered a well-deserved reputation as one of the strongest defensive operators on the board. But
Mhm.
when you're kind of looking at the trio of, say, Solus, Fenrir, and then of course you have your Azami in there. Those are the strongest defensive operators,
Attackers need to
arguably, right
locate and
now.
defuse the
So
remaining
one of them
bombs
is
if
always
they
going to get
can.
left behind, and it really becomes a choice of whether you want the Azami on your side or you don't. And in this case, I think that GCU is choosing to take that in. Fenrir in of himself, I think he's so dangerous because he is combining a lot of intelligence capability with a relatively disruptive gadget, which is I think why a lot of people see him go. Speaking of defensive operator choices, though, interesting one right here, Carpi. It's Bozaroni on Frost, the reworked Frost, no less.
You're completely right there. The reworked Frost. I
10
mean,
seconds to go.
I've honestly, I can't say I've noticed a huge difference if I'm being totally
5
honest with
seconds
you,
left
Corbec.
before
I mean,
insertion.
you get downed in a frost mat, and usually the way that people position
Attackers are
frost
moving
mats,
out
they're
to
in
locate
a
a bomb
way
and
that
defuse
you
it.
know once they jump in, you're gonna get that final bullet taking you off the map. I haven't seen a huge difference. I mean, I've seen a couple self arrives,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't they don't get far away. So I think the Yubi's rework is played really well.
I think that's fair. I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day. I think what it's genuinely cut down on is kind of those random frost mats that were just way out in the sticks and somebody would get caught by them. Speaking of getting caught, Bozzaroni finds the first kill on the frost, but it is not frost mat related, and that was Rapid, who opened up a hole in that attic wall and paid for it with their life. Good heads up play there by the frost holding attic. But I was going to say, I think you cut down the frost mats that were just kind of random. You know, like there's just one on a window somewhere on the other side of the map, and you jump through and you die. Now you do really have to kind of use them a lot closer to where you need to be. And I think that's made all the difference in the world for how a lot of people actually do play Frost now.
Yeah, it really has, and it's definitely made her more of a gadget. But I tell you who's not going to be doing much today. It's going to be Corey Roll as he's picked off by Matamba, but the Ash below, known as White Terror, looking to push the verticality and maybe potentially move Smiley out of Armory, but they're struggling a bit here.
Yeah, removing the player from Armory, I mean, that's a real kind of, I would say, the linchpin right of the defense is set up that we have here. And it's why Terror, who's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, takes both Example and Smiley out of consideration there, quick as you please. And that should theoretically open things up just a little bit. You still got a lot of defensive positions to push through here. But Matumba's ability to hold in Trophy right now, feeling a little less viable just because he's now going to get pushed from two directions and really going to be a chore to cover both of them without exposing himself to a particular angle of fire.
Yeah, Matamba just trying to bite his time as he's got the position in Trophy. They know he spots the head of My Name is Baka and he picks up his third kill for the round. Now Matamba versus White Terror. White Terror currently sitting on 2. He knows there might be someone sitting under the camera. He sees the head. Free fires go out from both sides, but damage is done onto White Terror as Matamba just manages to walk away with his life there. He's prone on the door, swinging left and right, but nothing gonna come out of either of these two.
Yeah, just a bit of a back and forth right now. I mean, White Terror is basically in an untenable position. All right, this is not a winnable setup right here. Maybe he can get lucky and pick up a kill, and he does. That's Climps who tries to swing from a distance there. A little ambitious, all things considered, on the mute, but Matamba closes it down. So round number 1 going the way of GCU. A very solid defensive effort right there. White Terror, I think, Carpi making it a little bit more bloody than it genuinely needed to be, but still, they'll wrench your back around in the end.
Yeah, White Terror was really just trying to get as much as possible out of that round, even though he knew he might not be able to walk away with the win. He did still put in the effort. I do want to say, I reckon that St. Clair's might have been able to take that. I just feel like the pinch wasn't quite there. It was quite one-sided. Once we had the Maverick die from the aggressive play from the Frost Bozzaroni, we just saw St. Clair Saints. They only had managed to open up the closet breach. They didn't rotate anywhere. They managed to get control of Armory towards the later side, but they didn't try to pinch from closet and big window. They struggled a bit once they realized this is going to be a bit of a one-sided push.
Yeah, it felt very one-dimensional, and that's something that I think they'll probably look to kind of repair, right, as time goes on. They tried, at least initially, like you said, they tried to open up a second angle, but it got shut down so quickly. There was no other effort on that side. And unfortunately, just kind of a matter of a little bit of a misstep in how they were using the Maverick. But you know, lesson to be learned. Moving on, looking ahead now to the basement defense. Matamba the roamer here on the Warden, but a very quick exit ready to go. And he's really the only presence on the first floor here from the GCU side. He's got a little bit of help with camera coverage. He's going to have Rapid to deal with. Rapid swings in on the garage door, fires a burst, and that will send Matamba back down the stairs, and the barricade goes up. And that, in general, means the members of GCU have effectively locked themselves in down here, Carpi.
Yeah, I have noticed that GCU put feet holes instead of head holes, and I'm intrigued to see how this will play out during the later stages. First one to notice these feet holes will be White Terror as he approaches Freezer with a little bit of aggression. Now, assuming that St. Clair's have used their drones wisely and correctly, they will know that all 5 players of GCU Purple are sitting on site. They should be able to break down and sort of just close off a couple angles and make GCU's life a little more harder.
Yeah, GCU turtled up right here. Klimps is actually going to peel back off of that elbow position. They don't need him there anymore. Matumba with the MPX and the long sightline pulls off the sights at the worst possible time, but he is going to be an absolute pain to dig out from behind that shield. They might actually be calling Corey Robb up for that process. This could be a bit of a dangerous trick to pull off, though, having to peek that there with the X-Kairos launcher. He'll kind of just play around it a little bit as Rapid actually uses the opportunity to advance. Nitro Cell comes over the top. Rapid can't get the gun on it fast enough. All he can do is watch. Now Bozzaroni swinging back to cover the laundry room door. He has got White Terror down. That's 2 members here. The St. Clair Saints fell, but they'll get one back by killing Example. Bozzaroni, though, still with the lockdown. The 2 MPXs here doing a lot of work as My Name is Baka finds one. He gets ripped apart in the freezer, and it's a quick back and forth. And ultimately, Matumba closing it down again. GCU Purple taking round number 2.
Yeah, GCU Purple are really showing us how they are a coordinated team and you don't want to mess with them. They're showing us that they're not, Oregon, like you said earlier on, it's one of these maps that you can do some wild and wacky strats if you want to, but usually you will just see most teams reverting to default sites or default strats, not really expanding on that. GCU, they're not expanding on it, but yet they're doing these simple sites and maybe making the slightest change. For instance, instead of the head holes, they're using feet holes, or just editing tiny little pieces to maybe make them as a team feel more comfortable. And it's definitely working. So far, they've had 2 consecutive rounds. But the real challenge for any team on defense will always be that tertiary site.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of seemed to be one of the things that GCU Purple has done very well is their site structure has sort of confused, maybe / intimidated the St. Clair Saints. You notice that there's a wall a lot of the times, a metaphysical one, let's say, where St. Clair Saints kind of hit it and then they just don't know what to do after a certain point. I mean, I've got to applaud the Saints for their aggression on that last site, but yeah, it just felt like it was just a game of trades and GCU had an advantage from the start, and the Saints were never really even it up. And like you said, I mean, tertiary bomb site, right, Carpi? That's the place where you go if you're going to get it. You're going to get a W. So this is the chance and one that they need to grab if they want to come out of this with that so-called respectable 2 and 4, right?
Yeah, if they want that 2-4 split that is a classic storyline of Oregon, they are going to have to win this tertiary site. I feel like St. Clair Saints, they've got the rough idea of what they want to do in their head, but they're just struggling on how to compose it, how to really take theory and put it on a piece of paper and show GCU Purple what they can bring as attackers. Seeing Salty and White Terror below, but Example ready to potentially take a couple heads here. It's the drone from Salty. He's just going to help his teammate out. Example's going to be spotted out there. He potentially looks to go for the swing, but White Terror is going to catch the back. He's going to cross over, but no! Example will say not today, White Terror, and he will live to see the light of day.
Well, that's a good start here for GCU Purple. That's what they wanted. Get that early kill up. Now you see an attempt there to sort of swing out and get something going. The shotgun at point-blank range from Bozzaroni. He'll find another one. It's Rapid taking down. And Bozzaroni's position is a little overextended, but the members of the St. Clair Saints have really bunched up. That's working out for them, though. Salty Boy and Corey Robb both jumping in and getting kills. Smiley still on the top floor. Might need to reposition here, but Bozzaroni with the shotgun at close range gets one more. Example swinging back in towards Meeting Hall, and that's an angle you wouldn't necessarily expect as Bozzaroni bites off more than he can chew. Baka securing the kill right there, and now the 2 of them are going to push forward together in tandem. Example swinging, gets one. Example runs away. He nearly gets clipped by the second. And Corey Robb, the only one left alive here for the attacking side.
I think Example might have a 4-leaf clover in his pocket because that's twice now he's ran across the line of sight of the enemies and he's managed to get away with it. Corey Rob, let's start to plan. He's going to be able to pick off example there, leaving him in a 1v1 scenario. Just under a minute on the board here. He is unaware of where Smiley is. He's going to attempt the plant. Smiley now looking to push towards kitchen corridor. Corey Rob gets off the plant. He's back on. He's being a little indecisive. He's not too sure on and off. He's waiting for that sound call, those footsteps to come close and near him, but nothing's going to be heard. Smiley's going to quick peek. He sees the backside of Corey Rob. He's not quite able to hit him. Corey Rob now looking to stick the plant. Smiley not going to push, but that's it. The plant is down. A post-plant scenario is in the play now. And Smiley looking to just quick peek those doors. He's worried that Corey Rob might have rotated into B. He's just unaware of his position. Both these players blissfully looking at each other, but yet just unaware of each other's presence. He's going to go for the rotates. Corey Rob's going to be unable to do any damage. He's going to do a tiny little bit of damage, sorry, but in the end, Corey Rob is going to take Smiley off the board.
It's a good kill right there for Corey Rob, honestly, coming back around like that. He had a good angle on it, and you could tell that Smiley was doing the calculation. He just sort of misplaced his shots right there when he went for the wall bang. Unfortunate there for the side of GCU, but as you said at the beginning of all that, Carpi, perhaps not entirely unexpected that they would not be able to pull the tertiary bomb site. So back up, we will go to dorms in the main hall as we regroup on the top deck, and GCU probably feel a lot more comfortable up here, all things considered. A slight variation in their lineup this time. Mozzie making an appearance, which is not something I think we saw last time. Legion and Frost will remain, though, as per their last defensive endeavor, and of course Matumba sticking with the play of the Thorn. We'll see, really, if the St. Clair Saints have picked anything up over those last couple of rounds that they can maybe bring to bear here on round number 4. Just looking at it, Carpi, I mean, you're adding the grid block now. I think they had Gritty on the last round, too, but certainly a bit of an interesting addition to the attack.
Yeah, no, I feel St. Clair Saints, they almost didn't get away with that round. Luckily, Corey Rob was just sort of locked in and he was centered on what he was doing. We did see, right as Smiley walked through the rotate, he did a bit of damage, but you saw the player, just saw him a little bit almost panicky in the scenario that he was, just because he thought he might have downed Smiley or done a lot more damage than he thought he did, but he didn't. But nonetheless, we're on to round 4. The tertiary site has been played, and St. Clair's are potentially looking at picking up that 4-2. White Terror is maybe potentially aware that Smiley's sitting above him, but just going to sit and wait and watch that vertical angle he's just made.
Yeah, White Terror, I think, is remembering the position of Smiley from the last time they played this defense, and the GCU purple side has not made any significant changes to that particular aspect, and certainly White Terror will take advantage of that. The frag grenade finding Smiley, so that linchpin position there of the defense is taken down. Matumba, now forced to play a more difficult angle here, will make something out of it, though. Catches a headshot onto White Terror. Well done right there as Matumba swings back and looks towards the master bedroom door with that pressure off on the left-hand side, at least for the moment. But it can be a little bit more rapid. Meanwhile, has had a lot more success this time of shoving his way down through the attic. As Bozzaroni potentially considers using the shotgun, but will instead go for just walling the attic off, changing the site structure just a little bit here in the mid-round.
Yeah, they've managed to get the breach open, but the question is, have they got a secondary way to rely on here? Have they got control of Army? They have got control of Attic, as Rapid says hello, peeks his head, and he's able to get Matumba, but Bozzaroni's going to get 1, 2. Is he going to be able to pick up a 3rd? But I tell you what, Baka's going to come back, and he's going to secure 2 for his team, and it's all down to example. He can easily clutch the C4 on the board. 1 versus 2. He just needs to isolate his ones and then move forward from there. He's going to get droned out. Sprays going out left and right. Little hesitant towards where these players are. He does have a rough idea where they're going to come from. But is he going to be able to land those shots? No, as Corey Rob says, I'm gonna show my team and I'm going to make sure that we persevere and push through as we get another round.
Yeah, good adaptability from the Saints right there. The double push in through the one side, better than the split in that case. It really allowed them to find that final pick. And A rough end to the round there for GCU Purple, but some of the key defensive wins that they had on their previous round of dorms did not come through right there, right? Like the armory position of Smiley, that was taken out relatively early. Bozeroni's hold on the attic was much more minimal. I mean, the classic issue of the attic defense when you wall off that rotation, which is what Bozeroni ended up doing, is that you do allow Rapid to kind of sneak up if he's not adequately covered, and that was unfortunately what happened. Back down to the basement they go here, Carpi, and you have to wonder a little bit whether or not they can repeat that kind of run back magic here again, or will the Saints be stifled once more?
Yeah, I mean, from GCU, we've not seen a huge roam game. Like you said, I mean, I feel like Up the Stairs is one of these sites where you've got a lot more adaptability compared to the basement site, where you've not got as much adaptability. You've not got a whole lot you can change around or mix up. But compared to Up the Stairs, we've seen GCU twice now. They hold on to trophy with their lives. We saw it successfully play off the first round, but then round number 4, they just held on to it, even though they knew Attic had been taken. I feel like you need to be aware of your surroundings. Attic's been taken, you've got no way of rotating, you're unaware of who's in main, there's people behind you, there's people pushing from the bedroom. I just feel like, is Trophy the best hold? Or maybe potentially looking at editing it, or just get a roam game going, potentially throw off St. Clair Saints?
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, the roam game, I think, would honestly really help as an adaptation. They're not doing it this round, but that is something they should probably keep in mind for round number 6. And here comes White Terror on the Twitch drone, doing what Twitch drones are naturally inclined to do, taking out that black mirror. And maybe, just maybe, that'll set up a little bit better of an attack here. Freezer, very much the heavy focus here. Salty Boy kind of sneaking in, just looking over towards the box hatch, waiting to see if they can catch anyone looking. Example, meanwhile, holding out. Now Climps on the double back here to lend some support when it becomes apparent yet again that the elbow will not be touched. The Gone 6 out in the hands of Rapid, and through the smoke, Matumba finds the kill. The power of the Warden glasses there coming in big. Matumba will actually reposition here, just changing up that shooting spot a little bit, Carpi, to see if he can catch someone else off guard.
Yeah, Matumba really just saying, don't mess with the glasses there. As he held that angle, the smokes came out, and Matumba was like, this is my time. I hear the music. He proved to us that he did. White Terror going to push in here. He's going to take a little bit of damage. He's going to be able to get rid of a smoke canister there, sorry. As Corey Robb is able to pick off Matumba, and then right back, Climps. He's going to get one right for his team, and he's going to be able to reclaim that shield, and that is going to be a major win for GCU. Going back and forth. Smiley's going to get one, but Baka's going to get one back onto Smiley, leaving us in a 2 versus 3 scenario. 40 seconds on the clock.
Bozeroni, that will find Baka sneaking up. There will be no ambush from out of nowhere this time. Salty Boy, the only one left alive, stuck in the laundry. He's trying to wash the rest of this round away, and it's just not happening. Salty Boy firing in, gets caught. Example pops up, takes him down. And another round of the book there for GCU. And now a choice has to be made, Carpi. Do you complete the rotation, go to the tertiary bomb site, or do you go back up to dorms for another try?
I feel like if they're going to go dorms, they're going to need to show us that they can adapt to a different strat, a different scenario, because St. Clair's have persistently gone with the same push. If that Maverick dies, they don't try to rotate to the window. They still try and push through the bedroom balcony. They don't attempt any sort of adaptation or, just moving around the map. They just go for the same old push. So I feel like if GCU Purple reads into that a bit, they'll be able to edit their defense and catch St. Clair's Saints off guard.
I think they do need to adapt. I 100% agree right there. It looks like probably some adaptation is on the way. Bandit coming out here from Matumba. Klimps is now on the Legion, so everybody's kind of done a bit of a musical chair of roles. Smiley taking over on the mute. No more Mozzie attempted. And Wamai making an appearance here, I think, for maybe the second time overall. So a little bit of long-range util denial being thrown in there as well. Interesting setup choices, honestly. Arguably a more traditional defensive setup on the side of GCU Purple. Not probably as gun-oriented, but still quite effective. I think the hope probably being, Carpi, that they can just kind of burn away some of the util that St. Clair Saints have and just sort of, at the same time, burn away time.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I like how this time they've given themselves an option, but Baka, you're not going to have much of an option. As it looks like you're going to be watching cams for the rest of the round. As Ozaroni, he's really putting up numbers. We've not even gotten to the split, and he's already on double digits.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, and it's a big day right there for the double digits of Bozaroni, who's been an absolute fragger. Smiley, though, falling yet again to the frag grenade of Y Terror. You'd think that he would have learned. There's a little bit of adaptation that didn't come through, I guess, but evolution happens in leaps and bounds. Bozaroni sealing off the attic. Hopefully this time they won't be caught looking by a sneaky Rapid who's going to try and get up in there and cause some issues. Clips bravely holding on over here in Dorm's main hall. Go ahead and open up a little bit of space for himself to rotate if he so needs it. The first EMP grenade coming down from Corey Robb, and it really is just a shifting of the lines here for these two teams. Layers being peeled away from the defense.
Yeah, as Klimps and Terror both pick up one, as Terror's traded out, though, by Klimps there, leaving us in a 3 versus 3. Just under a minute and 25 seconds on the board now. It is the final round for GCU on defense. They really want to secure themselves that round, as Matumba says goodbye to Salty Boy and gets his team that upper hand. Corey Robb very low on HP as he looks to potentially swing through the door. There's no sign of the push or the execution coming out just now, but here we go. Rapid's in the building. He is taking damage, and that Legion Mine is only going to hurt him more and more, but Rapid's going to be able to trade one out, and Matumba's going to get one onto Rapid, and all of a sudden it's down to the famous Corey Robb in that 1v1 scenario. But no, Matumba says not today, and ends Corey Robb there. And then luckily GCU having that classic 4-2 split.
Yep, the 4-2 split is where we will end up. A little bit of a rocky road to get there for both the teams, but they'll get there in the end. And the side swap coming on now with a maybe slight advantage in the column of the St. Clair Saints, in the sense that if they can turn the same score line, they will at least get it to overtime. They're going to start up in Dorms, but they are providing us with a slightly different defensive setup. Mutant Smoke both making an appearance here. Warden, Jaeger, and Aruni rounding it out. So some definite changes there, a different methodological approach. And if you look at the side of GCU Purple, and at least their initial picks, Carpi, a bit of a change from them as well, foregoing the Maverick and perhaps foregoing the idea of sort of a pinched push. Though, I will say, Carpi, they've got two hard breachers if they so chose.
Yeah, if one of them gets picked off early, like we've seen, GCU, they did a couple Swarm Peaks, they picked a couple of St. Clair's players off early a couple of times, but now they've got two hard breachers to work with. That's twice the angles to worry about, and not particularly good if you're on defense. But I like the fact that they're taking a Thermite. What can I say? I like to keep it OG. You know, I remember the days when someone would mention hard support, and what would pop up in your head, it would be the Thermite, right? You wouldn't really think of Maverick, you wouldn't think of Habana. You know, it would just be the Thermite. So I like the fact that they're keeping it OG, and they're bringing Thermite back on the board here. Now, whether they know how to play Thermite, that's a completely different story, and only time can tell.
Fair. I mean, Thermite works perfectly well here if you use him correctly, right? Coming into the attic is a good Thermite position. The Ace better suited perhaps for dealing with the master bedroom, kind of wall closet open. But, you know, like you said, do they know how to use them? That's an example who drops early. The Lion Pink did go out, I think, before they lost him, but they still lost him. Good early shot right there from Rapid, I believe, to secure it. And they're going to use the thermite on the closet wall. They just bull rush this. Matumba in and out like a shot. Gets that wall open, and he's fortunate in the sense that no defenders were paying too much attention towards that direction. They could actually probably move up here and relatively quickly secure Master Closet. And what about that? Corey Robb with the long bomb on the Nitro cell. I don't even know how he found Matumba with that. Ridiculous stuff.
What a toss coming out from there. He sent that flying. I mean, the arms on him. Corey Robb, pat yourself on the back, because I reckon you might have just got your team this round as he's popped them up another player, but I might have spoken too soon as Klimps is going to be taken off the board, and it's only securing St. Clair's round more and more. Ozaroni down to look to open Attic, and we're well into this round, so I feel opening Attic, it might be the last resort. I'm a little confused to why this might have not happened earlier, but maybe they had different ideas for the ace.
Ozaroni swinging in through the attic. He's going to run face first in the Salty Boy if he's not careful, who is militantly holding that angle. Crosshair at head height and everything, just what you need. A couple of taps on the barbed wire, giving it away, and there's the smoke grenade out and in, and that will give them some pause, I think. Double smokes coming out right there to slow Bozaroni's roll. Just time wasting off the clock from Bozaroni. And there'll be a third smoke in there as well as an impact EMP, or is it just a regular EMP, comes sailing in right there. That might have actually temporarily disabled the smoke grenade. Bozaroni, though, unfortunately, can't really do much about it. Smiley falls through the floor. I don't think that was part of the plan. Bozaroni now in trouble up there in the attic. Smiley comes running back up, only to find that the situation has changed. He gets one, nearly gets two, but he's in a 1v3 with about 6 seconds left on the clock. He's got barbed wire to get through, and some Rooney gates there as well. Double shot at angles, and Corey Robb secures the kill.
Ooh, it's almost like the first round just replayed itself, because I remember White Terror was also in that 1v3 scenario in his first time on attack, but now it was Smiley looking at the 1 versus 3 scenario. I mean, GCU Purple, I'm a little confused. You got the double hard breach, but Attic was only opened towards the very end of the round. Now, maybe you are trying to distract them by pushing through the balcony, opening the closet breach, and then pushing into Attic right as they think that's it. But yet again, maybe the timings were off and GCU's communication wasn't entirely there. I'm not too sure. This time, they've substituted the double breach and they've just got the Habana and a blitz. I like this. I've not seen a blitz in a while. I'm interested to see how he plays it, because you know there are two ways to play blitz. You know, you can run in and just blast the music in your headphones and think about nothing and try and pick off as many players, or you can be a little more slow and use those corners and those sort of objects like couches or wardrobes or desks as cover, and then, you know, crouch behind it and sprint up as soon as you hear someone close by or someone walks across your sight lines. So I am intrigued to see how Klimps will use the blitz.
I agree. Yeah, it's an interesting operator, and you're right, one that we don't see very often. Actually, today in some of the major play, Blitz was getting a fair amount of use from SSG and was sort of tearing it up. So maybe the inspiration lies there. I'm not entirely sure. Rapid definitely pumping enough rounds down. Could be a bit of a moot point, though, if they don't know that Y Terror is just sort of waiting around the corner. Their drone will come in, though, so that at least gives them that idea. And then Of course, they saw the shots from Rapid, so that all helps. Now the choice really has to be made, though. How exactly does the Blitz play this? And he's taken up a lot of attention and time in terms of the enemy's consideration, but for relatively limited progress. Here he comes. Klimt pushes up and takes the staircase there. They have not dealt with that roamer, though. It's still there. They're going to just try and force Rapid back and out, and it does succeed.
Yeah, Rapid managing to do a little bit of damage towards the Blitz there, but then he's got to retaliate towards Kitchen. But now the hunt is on. Is Rapid still roaming, or is he not? Example, going to be able to pick up a wide terror and put GCU in a little bit of a better situation. Minute 34 to work with here as Klimt still running back and forth. We're yet to see him aggress on any enemies, but Rapid, he's still above, so the play could be made, or the call could be made, sorry, from St. Clair's for him to potentially try to investigate what's going on in meeting and potentially get them off that hatch. But Rapid is going to do exactly what I was thinking, and he picks off Smiley, giving his team a 4 versus 4, and now GCU, they should be worried. There's less than a minute and their roamer is still on the board. Klimt's now looking to push into elbow, but it's already been reinforced. The utility's been used, but a hat drop comes out. Salty's going to pick up one and Backer's going to pick up another, leaving a 4 versus 2, and Klimt's is going to be shut down there by Corey Rubb. Somehow he wasn't blinded by the light, and it's all down to Bozaroni in the 1 versus 4.
Bozaroni all alone here. The defensive benefits coming in as much for St. Clair Saints as they did for the GCU Purple. Bozaroni will pop the overheal right there and a slow swing in, just walking it forward, looking for anybody, and nobody obliges. Instead, Rapid, a nasty shot from a nasty angle, will shut it down, and GCU Purple cannot find these attacking wins.
No, GCU Purple are really struggling. I feel like they know what they want to do, but they just sort of need to coordinate a bit more and work along with the time period, the time frame that they've got. You know, you've got 3 minutes in a round, but you've got to divide those 3 minutes into a lot of different categories. You got to divide it into clearing roamers, investigating the site, you know, the setup. You then got to, you know, slowly push into the map, take a little more time, try out more rooms, double check everything, push in further, and it's just sort of repeating that process till you manage to get to site, open your breaches, and then, only then, when you're sort of minute, 45 seconds in the round, only then looking to start your execute, because I feel like an execute is that very last moment, that last thing that you're going to do in a round, the do or die sort of moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. And now a real test here for the GCU Purple side, right? Because this is now, you've got to win this tertiary bomb site. As much as it was imperative for the St. Clair Saints to kind of eke out a tertiary bomb site win, it is now imperative on the side of GCU Purple that they find the tertiary bomb site win. You do not want the St. Clair Saints to go up 5-4 on you if you can avoid it. So the pressure on here, and we'll see what the GCU side brings to the table. I appreciate, by the way, the presence of Ram there with the buggy. That's a good setup already for a point that has some decent soft destruction potential. They've got the sledge in there as well, so really, and also the Matumba right there with those sort of breaching charges. It's a very top-down oriented defense coming out here, or top-down oriented attack, I should say, coming out from GCU Purple.
Yeah, I mean, we saw when St. Clair's was on the tertiary, it was almost a completely opposite attack, but White Terror is going to pick one onto Matumba there. But just like I was saying, when we saw St. Clair's do the tertiary, but I'm not going to be able to speak, am I? Because Klimt's is going to pick one right onto Rapid and put us right back where we started in an even Stevens scenario, 4 versus 4. Klimt's, though, he knows that Smiley is up here. Sorry, White Terror is up here. Is he going to be able to get the kill? No, he's going to be able to drop the hatch and flee towards safety. Klimt's now starting the verticality. He sees the mute, but the bars are going to be saving his life. As they've got upstairs now, so let the verticality reign.
There you go. Verticality, and like you said, rains down, right? They've got the buggy up there tearing stuff up. They've got the self-destruction as well of Clips. That'll open some more stuff up, at least for a moment, because Baka brings him down. It's not safe up there on the top deck. It's not safe for Baka either. The bullets do go both ways. Smiley still has some things to destroy, and still, by the way, has 2 frag grenades sitting in the pocket. All the buggies, I believe, are out. It's Example doing the droning right here, seeing maybe if they can set up one of those Smiley frags from above. They've also got Bozaroni, who's sitting on 2 frag grenades. So a lot of very, very useful util. Bozaroni, though, very low, forced to use the stim boost right there. As Example will pick up the diffuser. Still a couple of members of the St. Clair Saints in defensive positions, and out comes the buggy. I thought they were all gone, but they've still got 1 left in the tank, and this is putting a lot of pressure here on Corey, Rob, and Salty Boy to continue to hold these positions.
Yeah, the plant is going down from Example, and I believe Bozaroni is holding him from all the way. You can just see him in the back of dining there. But Corey Rob, he's going to go close. Salty Boy's going to be able to pick up Example. Corey Rob, you almost lost your life there. But he sees Smiley above. Smiley looks to go for the drop in towards CC. But he's got a good plan. 7 seconds on the board. Corey Rob's going to swing him and get Smiley. It's a 2 versus 1 scenario. But no, a 1 versus 1, and all of a sudden, the time has run out. Bozaroni is unable to find that final kill to secure the round for him and his team.
A bottled attempt right there by the GCU Purple. No other way to really cut that, in my opinion, Carpi, because they should have had vertical coverage right there on the plant, and they just could not seem to find it.
No, and I feel like when we actually watched St. Clair's do their approach on the tertiary site, we didn't see them go for that vertical play. We saw them go below, and we saw them wrap around white and sort of do it that way. They cut off people, and they pinched them from below rather than above. They didn't rely on the verticality, because I feel like if you're going for verticality, you're almost saying to the defenders, we're going to play this out to the very second, and we're going to plan within those last 10 seconds. And if you're a defender and you read into them destroying the floors, you're like, okay, they're probably going to plant default here. We need to bite our time, and we just need to hold the correct crosses, the correct angles, have each other's backs, and we will win. You know, it could be a 2 versus 5, and there will be 10 seconds on that board because they've spent, 2.5 minutes just trying to get rid of everyone in that A bomb site or that B bomb site and evacuate them out just so they can potentially move in from a doorway. So I feel when you go on verticality, you've got to be, in the right mindset. You've got to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost secure, confident. You've got to be confident in what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree. You do have to be relatively confident in what you're doing in order to sort of make it work, and that hesitancy, I think, is what caused some major issues. Corey Rob there blasting out panels on the drawer. I'm not sure exactly what the plan was there, but maybe we'll see some insight into the strategic mind. But Tumba going to go ahead and blast open the wall of Armory. No Armory contest, by the way, from the side of the St. Clair Saints. Not something that they particularly worry about. So Matumba has some free reign to play with coming here up those Armory stairs. Corey Rob still holding that position, though. SMG 11 in hand, but the wall behind him leaves the Master Closet has gone. Baka there swinging out on the look, though, trying to catch anybody who runs in. And we have seen the propensity from the GCU Purple side to do that before.
Yeah, and this time GCU Purple, they've once again only taken the single hard breach, not even a Maverick to back them up or potentially look for the push, but they don't need anyone else, as Klimps is going to be able to take Corey Rob off the board there and put his team in a little bit of a better place. But Rapid below, no. I mean, jeez. That was a close one there, Rapid. But many kills have flown out from both sides as Bozaroni is able to pick off Rapid, and all of a sudden we're in a 2 versus 2. I mean, there was just so much that happened within those 10 seconds there.
Yeah, and we're back for this 2v2 scenario, and it does feel like GCU Purple, given the amount of consideration that has gone into a lot of their executes, should be avoiding situations like that, but they just can't seem to stop themselves from ending up in these 2v2s or even these 1v1s, and it's a 2v1 in favor of GCU Purple. Will they be able to turn it around here? Terror, with his 10 kills, is holding strong here on the top floor. He'll pop the Warden glasses, and he's got his gun lined up, and Bozzaroni walks into it. Diffuser is down, but Matumba swings from the other direction. It's unseen. And the kill coming in fast there on Wide Terror, and GCU Purple winning a critical round as we move on to round 11 here. These two teams neck and neck right now, Carpi.
Yeah, they are really fighting. You know, like we said earlier on at the start of the match, both teams are currently sitting at 1 win, 4 losses. So they're gonna be eager, as it's week 6 now, I believe. They're gonna be eager to get that win, just bump them up a bit on the leaderboards. But in that post-plant scenario there, Bozzaroni played really aggressive, almost unnecessarily aggressive, and it had my heart jumping a little bit, to be honest with you, Corbec, because you don't need to be that aggressive. Like you said earlier, we're talking about the major, you're talking about the blitz plays. If you have watched the major, or if you watched any, whether it's NAL, APAC, LATAM, or EUL, you know, or MENA, you'll look how people play the post plants. They'll play it so passive. It's almost like they ran out of the building, but they're not. They're watching each other. They know they're putting that defender in that position. In that 1 versus 2 scenario, they're putting that defender in a position where if he kills one, he's
5 seconds to go.
going to get killed by the other. I feel like Bozzaroni, he swung where it wasn't quite necessary to. Just, you got to be careful with those post plants.
Yeah, I agree. And the post-plant situations, sometimes people just bottle them a little bit. I mean, the pressure does get to you, and there's a desire there to kind of secure the kill, and a little too, free and easy, probably, is the story there for Bozzaroni. But, I mean, lesson learned, hopefully, and they'll move on to their future rounds here. I mean, we're trying dorms again, so St. Clair Saints obviously feel relatively confident in their ability to hold that bomb site, and admittedly, I can't blame them for that, Carpi. They did manage to get it down to the 2v2 before it all went sour. They very nearly won that one out.
Yeah, no, they did very, very, very nearly were able to take the round there. Klimp's going to take the ace charge off the board, and now the wall is going to start to open. Example, going to take a little bit of damage there by the DMR, but Rapid is going to be able to take Tumba off the board. He's playing all the way in tower. He's got a long angle to hold there.
He does have a long angle to hold. It's not the most favorable one in the world. Smiley there, checking the windows over on the side of Big Tower as well. Doesn't want to get caught looking. Of course, there is a mute player just sitting there with a shotgun, waiting on the other side of the trophy doors, and that could be relatively unfortunate. You've also got Terror there with the deadline on the MPX, and it's going to be somebody who gets shot, and it will be, wow, why Terror gets caught by Smiley. Did not see that one coming at all, if I'm being honest. Smiley now trying to peek, but here comes Rapid up the backside. Rapid finds 2, and that surprise attack by Rapid doing some serious damage right there is now Klimp's on low health, tries to get to work. He forgot to finish the reload, so he only fires the 1 shot. He had an open kill, and he gets taken down in trophy. And now everything on the back of Bozzaroni, who still has 2 frag grenades to play with. That's a lot of destructive power right there. Corey Robb at an absolute sliver of a health right now, and he'll hold tight in these positions, and everything pauses for just a second.
Yeah, Bozzaroni facing the 2 SAS operators, Smoke and Mute, Salty Boy and Corey Robb. Corey Robb, like you said, he's on a slither, but that doesn't matter as he's holding close with the Mossberg, and boy, would you not want to be close to a Mossberg, I tell you that. St. Clair's
All
there.
right.
Match
Yeah.
point.
Match point. It's good for them. I guess
This is-
technically map point. But still, very close and well done by them to hold their line right there. I mean, Rapid coming up the backside and getting that kill. It's not the first time that we've seen Rapid pull a maneuver like that. It was something that came into play on one of the defensive rounds as well, or the attacking rounds as well, I should say, for the Saints when he dropped through on the attic,
Attackers
you know,
need to
and
locate and defuse bombs.
a pretty pivotal kill in that round to sort of shift the way it was going. So an issue there for the GCU purple side that they're not necessarily covering their backs or covering their sight lines. Sometimes that can be a bit of a drone issue, right, Carpi? Like they're just not covering enough ground with enough intel, but it's something that even if they do somehow win this map out, and it's going to be a hard ask because you're going to have to attack basement, but if they do win this map out, that's something that they're going to want to look at when we move on to border.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean you can't let Rapid like run up those
5
stairs
seconds to
and
go.
pick off two of you. You know, there should be a flank cam. There should
Attackers are
be
moving
someone
out to
watching
locate
that
a
flank
bomb
cam.
and
You
defuse
need
it.
to be aware that when you become tunnel visioned on the push, there is always going to be that one player on the enemy team thinking outside of the box and thinking to himself, well, actually, I know the hatch in attic is open. Why don't I drop down there? Or I know the hatch in kids is open. I'll drop down there and I'll start to make my way up main stairs. By the time I get there, less than a minute is on the round, and they're not really going to expect that late flank. But why Terror are going to pick off one, and Smiley just going to be able to trade out his teammate there, as they're going to lose the intelligence of the Doki if they get the hacks off. But defense, they're going to lose a key player, Wide Terror, 12 and 12 right now. Also going to lose the glasses, and that would have been useful because Twitch is
A bomb
carrying
has
2
been
smoke
located.
bombs.
Yes, she is. And they've got them ready to go. And that's not how they wanted to start that push. Smiley walking in and getting capped right there on the lion was not the way. Klimp's coming down the big stairs here out of big tower, trying to put some crossfire down, seeing if he can catch one of the members of the Saints sort of rotating across. He has to deal with the Malusi Banshee as Bozaroni finds a kill and trades back. Nearly finds Vaca there as well. The shot's going in through the soft wall from Bozaroni, but no kill to be had as Klips comes creeping down the staircase. Example considers deploying the smoke. Those bees, the Quan hive there of Klimp's, doing a lot of work actually to provide this intel. Rapid, though, holding here in the freezer, and you got to worry a little bit if that's a mark, but Klips finds two. A huge play for Klips to find both of those in a critical round and potentially push this into overtime. Here comes Rapid trying to make something happen. Finds the first head. It's Bozaroni who drops. Now holding up behind the bomb chassis. He's got multiple opponents to deal with. He just clips, but Klips finds a third. Klips going off right there exactly when GCU Purple needed it. And now the St. Clair Saints have to take this to overtime. They cannot hold on to the basement.
Yep, we are potentially looking at 14 rounds. These teams, they've been quite back and forth as of now, and they've really, no one's yet to take that stride, you know, win a good couple rounds consecutively, just keep on going. You know, we did see St. Clair's, was it GCU? It might have been St. Clair's. I'm trying to figure out who took the lead. I think it was GCU that did take the lead in the start, but now as they've progressed onto attack, they've slowly lost it, and now we're looking at an overtime moment.
An overtime moment, indeed, and we're already to overtime here on map number 1, which bodes, I think, that this might go a while. To be honest, these two teams seem very evenly matched right now. If all these 2v2s and near 1v1 endings and what have you hadn't already implied that these two squads were fighting in the same bracket, they really should have given you that clue. But we are going back up to the attic now, and it's a GCU attack onto attic, and they've struggled a little bit on this site so far, Carpi. It has not been easy for them to pick the lock of the defense of the Saints, and I would be slightly worried if I was sitting in their positions as this is the start. Terror's going for a spawn peek there as well. but it doesn't come through. He'll peel back and retreat towards the site. Rapid, though, the next one in line, and probably will make a similar consideration. White Terror just repositioned for a different spawn peak, though, and he takes Smiley out early, and the Thatcher is done and dusted at the start of the round.
That is really a huge pick coming up from White Terror there, especially onto the Thatcher, because they've got those walls mute jammed up, so it's gonna be pretty hard for Ace to get them open. Whether they're gonna go below, but White Terror strikes again as he's able to pick off Example. The Ash Charge is gonna get rid of that mute jammer, I believe, but White Terror, he's holding the door. Do they know? Ooh, what a shot from Matumba there onto White Terror, and he's just gonna bring his team back up a tiny bit. But Clips from what
How does he even
world?
see that?
This man has eyes like an eagle. Gas grenade gonna come out there as Bozzaroni's picking one to Rapid. Bozzaroni's gonna get two. Bozzaroni's in sight.
Wow, Bozzaroni with 3 at the end. The headshot around the bomb chassis, I might add. Beautifully executed in GCU Purple. Just when they needed it the most, Carpi, they come alive, electrified right there in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, wow. They just walked in to sight like it was nothing. Bozzaroni, I think he hopped in the big window there and he managed to pick off 3 of them. And I reckon if it wasn't for Bozzaroni's play, St. Clair Saints might have picked up another defensive round. But now, 6-7, St. Clair's now gonna show the aggression that they've been missing. White Terror, he's on the Ash. He's stuck the Ash and he's putting up numbers this game. 14 and 13. He's definitely in the zone right now. Good couple players from both teams are putting up numbers. Matumba 15 and 8. Bozzaroni 19 and 9. Is he gonna potentially be looking to push past that 20 mark?
The big 2-0, I mean, he could do it, honestly, and that would that would be a significant benefit to the side of GCU Purple. He will drag them through, but, I got to give some credit there as well. Matumba coming in with 15, and, Corey, Rob, Baca, the Rapid, they're all doing pretty well on the kill distribution over there on the side of the St. Clair Saints. Again, probably attesting to just how close this matchup is for these two teams. It's back to the basement here for the side of the St. Clair Saints, and is it going to be a rush strat in overtime from the St. Clair Saints? Is that what they're thinking of here? And are the members of GCU Purple actually in a position to really counteract that? They actually throw that smoke very early here, Carpi. I think that's exactly what they were afraid of.
Yeah, I mean, Smoke getting rid of his own utility a little early, in my own opinion there. I feel like the signs of a rush is that everything in the map will go dead silent for a good 45 seconds, and then all of a sudden you'll get that lion scanner, that phone buzzing in your pocket, and then you'll just hear bang bang, and the round's over all of a sudden. So I feel like it might have been a little bit of an early smoke usage there from Klimps, but still got 2 more canisters in the pocket. That's at least 40 seconds of denial, unless they want to be aggressive and walk through the smoke. But, ooh, you're right. They're not going to hatch drop this, surely.
They're surely not. That would be a very
They're
bold
not.
decision
Okay.
indeed. Example's waiting. So,
Oh, look at the timing.
the Canyon Claude trick. Are you kidding me right now? He's actually pulling this off. I don't think that I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think they're gonna be able to do it. Smiley's underneath here now as well. Okay, there. No. Oh, it's still working. Did they use all their X-Kairos pellets on that? They used almost all of them. They have 6 left.
Call the man a goat, because somebody needs to get an electrician to look at that hatch. I mean, that's mind-boggling. He's got that precision. He's got it down to a key. But now the push is going to rain in. Smiley's going to get one onto Salty Boy. Matumba's going to get one onto Rapid. And all of a sudden, St. Clair's, it's not looking great. But Smiley runs into the open arms of Corey Rob. And it's a 3 versus 4. As My Name is Baka, he's going to get smoked out here. He's in the middle of a reload. He gets swung by Bozzaroni.
I wonder what the future holds for these two teams.
Yeah, I got the map veto up in front of us, and as you just said, just played out Oregon to overtime. So it was a very, very long game, but now we're looking towards Border. Now, Border is one of these maps where you get a little more playful with your strats, because like we talked about on on Oregon, it can be fairly mundane. It can be fairly boring and normal, and just there's not a lot of expression. But when it comes to Border, there's so much you can do. There's so many door frames and walls. The angles and possibilities are endless. So I'm very much looking forward to watching these two teams battle it out in Border.
Yeah, and one of the most successful or one of the most successful plays that came out of the St. Clair Saints was their ability to kind of sneak up on the backside of GCU, right? They'll have like a random, I think it was mostly rapid. Always does become an issue, especially on these late night games. I mean, these guys are, I think, both West Coast adjacent. I think they're both Central Time Zone. So it's not quite as bad for them. I'm actually looking it up right now. I don't know, and this is to my discredit, I don't actually know where the St. Clair Saints are based. Um, but both of them are teams that perhaps don't have to worry about getting super tired because of the time, but certainly devoting a lot of attention to the game. It's always important to remember that these guys are just collegiate players, right? They're not professionals. They don't do this every single day, all day. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as well as we get rolling here. Looks like they might be Michigan, so yeah, okay. It's getting later for them. Something that they're definitely going to have to take into account as we get rolling. Glass, the first ban by the St. Clair Saints is Glass, and then Ying. I don't know, Carpi, riddle me that if you would.
All right, I reckon the St. Clairs have maybe studied up on GCU, and they've seen that GCU are well capable of the aggression and the rushes, and I reckon they're trying to sort of cancel out that B archives rush. If you go into East Stairs, you get the Galaz or a Cali holding the long angle, you smoke, you ying, you chuck gridlock tracks to cover the sound of the plant, and then you plant it, you hold from vents, you hold glass from all the way back, and you get someone to hold the east door run out and the jump out. So I want to say that's why. But then again, maybe St. Clair's just felt like rolling the dice and was like, you know what? Let's get rid of glass.
Yeah, that's a choice.
It could be.
It's a
I
choice.
could have either got it like bang on target, or I could be absolutely miles off with why they banned glass.
I mean, it's not a bad theory. It's not a bad theory. I will give it to you. It's just it's an interesting choice, nonetheless, right? It is generally an interesting choice, and maybe they know something about GCU Purple on this that we don't. That's always the other thing. I don't know that GCU Purple would necessarily run Glass, but Lord knows there are ways that you can use Glass. As much as people will treat him like a meme, he can be very dangerous in the right hands and if used correctly. Anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I just feel like we're in for a fun match on Border because there's so much. It's such a playful map. I say that like Rainbow Six Siege is just like a really happy game and everyone is shooting rainbows and candy, but I feel like it's a much more playful and colorful map. It just brings creativity, and that's one of the things I love to like look into when you try and analyze two teams playing each other. You don't always just want to be repeating the exact same thing. You want to be like, actually, they've showed me something that I've completely been unaware of within my 3 years of casting. And I feel like
always fun to see that. It is. It can be that way sometimes, for sure. And St. Clair Saints starting on the defense here on the Border side. White Terror already taking a very aggressive position. It's got a little bit of backup, actually, in the form of Rapid. Rapid will rapidly get out of there. Both of them following back. That's a hell of a defensive setup in the hallway right there.
That is an interesting one.
Yeah, they're locked in on that. They do not want to give that up come hell or high water. White Terror, they're going to be the one who's holding out in CCTV. And somehow Rapid already lost health. And I'm not sure exactly what it was. Perhaps Bozaroni from below? I don't know. It'll be a mystery. And sometimes those are the best ones. Bozaroni certainly with some good penetration here on the low ground, but the other members of GCU Purple are potentially going to run into some havoc here in just a second. A very much a push or orchestrated over towards the archive side of the site.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you were right. Buzzaroni looked like he cooked a nade from below and just chucked it up to 90. I had no idea that was destructible. I mean, they've already proved my point. They've shown me something I don't know. I had no idea that you could nade below 90, but why Terror is gonna pick off Buzzaroni? As I think we were just talking too much about him, and why Terror said, actually, I fancy the limelight being on me. Smiley opened up the breach and whoa, he's in. He's actually going.
He's just going in.
To punt. There's no way. I mean, St. Clair's read into this at all. Matumba's going to get one, but Rapid's back onto Smiley, and the plan doesn't go down. Luckily, they're able to cancel it out at the very last second, but guns ringing out left, right, and center. 3 versus 4. Less than a minute left.
Oh, look at those shots from Matumba. Doesn't actually succeed in getting the kill, though. It's good crossfire. And I mean, you got to admire the gun. Oh, no. Matumba into the trap. Klimps picks up one. Klimps just wailing away with the DMR right there, trying to secure something. And you've got to admire the gumption here on the GCU Purple side. You know, fortune favors the bold. What they don't tell you, though, by the way, is the guy who coined that died like an hour later. In a volcano. So, you know, every once in a while that phrase maybe not quite as good of a bearing as it really should have. 20 seconds left in the ground, and Klimps is hacking enemy observation tools. Carpi, I don't know if this is going to rescue them, all things considered. Klimps stepping on a goo mine as well. 15 seconds left. They've still got to get 3 kills. Matumba swings. No.
Rapid, he's just there. He's in the house. Klimps gonna look to push through, but I reckon he's gonna lose his life. Yep, that's it. Salty Boy's gonna be able to pick off Klimps there, and I mean, I could see what they were trying to do with the information gain, but it's just too late, too little. It's a little too late in the round, and you're not gonna get a whole lot out of it. I mean, 20 seconds. It is a lot of time to play with if you use it correctly and you're smart about what you're doing, but in a 2 versus 3 scenario where you've got one teammate that's on a slither of HP, it's not going to go your way. Let's just put it that way.
It's not, unfortunately. It was a good defense there from the St. Clair Saints, honestly. Shutting down the kind of bold attempt from GCU to get the plant down. They responded to it well. They held their lines. They didn't get baited into the sight lines where they could get picked off by the GCU players. Just solid from them across the board. Let's see if they can maintain that sort of sense of discipline here, though, Carpi, as they move on to the next site. Obviously, makes sense. You're probably going to see like a Ram here. Matumba's actually going to bring the Ash again. No Sledge or Buck being shown just yet, which is a bit of an interesting choice, but I guess they could maybe make a shift here in the lines.
Yeah, I mean, Ram's on the board, and
10 seconds to go.
I feel like a Ram, if you don't take her off instantaneously, or if she has the ability and survives long enough, she is going to cause you a very, very, very bad day, because those 3 drones, I think they span for almost like 7 seconds, and they go quite far. Like, you could put 2 drones easily in army right now, and that whole floor would just be shredded to pieces. For example, he's playing by himself, which is a little risky because you've got a lot of utility banking on you, especially because you are the main source of verticality here. You have got Matumba with the 3 breach charges, but that's not going to open up a whole lot. So you are, the main source, but luckily you're just waiting. You're waiting for your teammates to get in the position, and I like that. Drone work and the coordination is definitely key here, but this time we have Valcam, so if we do get the information gain from locally, it might help them, but there we go. Matumba, he's going to be able to pick off Rapid, and all of a sudden it's a 4 versus 5. Matumba looks to open the hatch, potentially cutting off Valkyrie, otherwise known as White Terror, down below. phone calls ringing
bomb
out,
has been
verticality in play. It does not sound like a great day if you're a player on St. Clair's. But now they're going to look to potentially hack that phone. Please? Please just get the information game now? Help us? Yes, there you go. Phone is on, cameras are activated, and St. Clair's are going to struggle a little bit more.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Yeah, but they'll get a kill right back the other direction. Who else but White Terror picking up 2, picking up 3. White Terror on a tear right there is finally caught on the drone. But again, it's just that one player playing aggressive on the side of the St. Clair Saints that is taking GCU Purple for a ride. Clips trying to play from above will secure a kill, but still a 3-2 here. And in the defensive positions of the St. Clair Saints, they just have to hold on. White Terror has backed off a little bit because what else do you really need to do?
I mean,
You're Carpi, but just kind of wait.
I mean, check that man's PC is what we should probably do. He's taken a page out of Rapid's book. He's like, my homie Rapid, can you know, tell me how you managed to walk up those stairs with a flank? And I guess Rapid said, yeah. You know what? I'm speechless. He's on a quad kill. He is genuinely on a tear. He's gonna look to rotate up the stairs now and potentially get Bozaroni as Bozaroni's unaware. The Legion Mine in the foot. But Baka says, you know what? Sorry, Terror. You're not getting the ace today. I'm gonna steal it away from you.
Yeah, unfortunate. Always somebody got to step in and cut away the opportunity for an ace, but a good win there for the St. Clair Saints and GCU Purple. Back to the drawing board yet again. I mean, everything turning on a dime right there. They were in a good vertical attacking position, and then suddenly White Terror popped up, and they were not in a good vertical attacking position anymore. And that is very frustrating, I imagine, for the side of GCU Purple, especially when it looked like they had actually set up a drone, Carpi, to watch it. They just didn't have anybody on it, or they did, and it just didn't matter. Neither of those options particularly great. And sure enough, White Terror will be back once more on the Valkyrie.
That just seemed like such a predominant GCU round. I mean, they got the starting pick, they had the information, the verticality was ringing out, and then all of a sudden, White Terror just waltzed his way up the metal stairs and picked off 2, he picked off a 3rd, and then a 4th, and the round was already over by the time he attempted to secure his ace. I mean, St. Clair Saints are really proving why this is their map pick.
They are doing a lot better in terms of showing us, I think, why they picked this map and why they feel confident here. Clearly, they have really good defensive setups. They want to play off of it, and also it's a map that, you know, clearly White Terror feels comfortable with. So they've got those placements for those Valkyrie Black Eyes. They know exactly where the enemy is going to be, and that is allowing them to make some really, really big plays. Something to keep in mind, right, as this goes forward, you know, GCU Purple has got to get some offensive wins if they want to stay in this, right? We are on the tertiary site. They need to pick this one up. It's very much like what we were looking at on Border. This is a very important round for them. And they're coming out with a blitz. And that is an interesting choice, to say the least.
We've seen them throughout the blitz on Oregon. It didn't quite go as well as just Oregon's one of these maps where if you don't play it correctly, blitz is going to be useless. And I feel like Border, it's quite open, so you are going to struggle to get, you know, around the close corners and back up. You're lucky that there's a mute jammer, but as soon as that mute jammer disappears, that shield is gone, because he just managed to detonate it in time. But back to the blitz conversation, I feel like Border's just too open of a map to really get 100% out of blitz, in my opinion.
All right, 4-5 the score. Rapid will die early. Matumba picking him up.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
The diffuser being put down in a safe position, and yes, Clips is down, which is a little bit unfortunate. I don't think they're going to be able to get the res in. Instead, a Nitro Cell will be thrown out on Clips. Hello, Bozaroni. There is a head right in front of your gun sight. You're going to have to double back right there. I think Bozaroni still has at least one Rotero in the tank, so they've got tools to work with here. A little bit of vertical being opened up by Matumba, who does actually have those 2 frag grenades there as well. And you can just see those stuck Roteros right there, but can't really do anything about it. Again, a testament to St. Clair Saints' defensive setup.
Yeah, St. Clair's, they've got the defense set up, and they've managed to get the pick onto Clint. But is it gonna be enough to stop GCU from tearing the floors apart and really trying to secure themselves the round? I mean, White Terror is in the doorframe, but Matumba says, not today. I'm not letting you pull off what you pulled off last round. And hold up, it's below you. Boys, what's going on here?
What is going on?
Swapping mags.
I'm lost for words. The round is moving too quickly for my mouth to even speak the words that it wants to
15
speak.
seconds remaining.
I mean, Matumba, he's going to look to pre-fire left and right. He's in a 1v2. It's a clutchable situation, but 10 seconds on the board. He's looking for the bomb. He's not going to find it. Yes, he is. No, he's not planting the bomb. 4 seconds on the board, and Baka is just going to shut him down. And another round going towards GCU. Oh no, St. Clair Saints. I'm throwing.
It's all too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. The St. Clair Saints holding on.
It's
To
approaching
be honest,
half 3.
It is. It is. I understand. It's rough. That's late. The St. Clair Saint. Yeah.
This could get bad. I'm telling you, Corbec. I could start speaking like real, like just British words, and just no one would know.
I'll understand.
You'll get me. You'll be the translator.
I will. Yeah, I'll pick it up. Don't worry.
No need for Google Translate. Corbec has clearly worked with McCready.
I have worked with McCready actually, but I also lived in England for a while, and my dad is English, so I will pick up your Englishisms or whatever your Britishisms. I'll get them.
I like that.
Yeah, I'll get them. Anyway, St. Clair Saints on 3. They've done really well here as we move into round 4. And GCU Purple, I mean, it's kind of the same tenor as what we saw in Oregon there, Carpi, where it does feel like there are rounds. Hey, GCU is doing like, the strats are making sense. The setup is pretty good. Like, they've got some ideas, but then when just push comes to shove, there's always something that the St. Clair Saints have in their pocket that just sort of derails everything in an insurmountable manner. And now you're going back up to Armory Archives, and that's just feels like bad news bears, honestly, here. And it's going to get a lot worse because Bozaroni gets taken out. And by the way, going from dropping a 22 bomb over to border, Bozaroni has 0 kills here on this map. A big old donut there.
I mean, I guess Bozaroni's, I know some players, you could look at EUL, you could look at any pro TC, but Klimt's not going to let me finish my sentence. He's going to take the head of Rapid. Maybe now I'll get to finish what I was going to say. Some players are just better suited to better maps. Bozaroni, he was feeling it on Oregon quite clearly. But now, like you said, on border, donut and 4, not looking quite so good for him. But Baka going to play really aggressive, and once again, he sees the head, decides not to shoot, waits a second, and then shoots. Matumba looking to swing in here. Potentially, he knows that Baka's in there. Baka reloading, but he doesn't know. He spotted him now. Pre-fire's kind of already come out from Matumba though, and it's on to Baka. It's a 3 versus 4. Glimpse is going to get one more, but GCU Purple is potentially looking at getting their first round now, as it's all down to White Terror and Corey Rob. But no! White Terror is going to be down 1, and he's going to bring it back to a 2 versus 2, but just under 30 seconds on the round, plus that 7-second diffuser timer. It's not looking good for the defenders, but Corey Rob, he knows he's going to jump out the window. Surely not.
No way. No, don't challenge that example. That's just what he wanted. White Terror, the beast is fed. And it drops the other two members there as well. White Terror, an unstoppable force of nature here as the diffuser is finished off at every round. Who is the consistent killer of the members of GCU? It is White Terror, Carpi. No
He's
doubt
living up to the
about it.
name.
He is a terror.
I mean, if I was GCU, I would be fearing every attacking round for where that man is. They need to find him. This is, boys, we need to whip out the Jackal, the Lion. We need to get White Arrow off the board if I was GCU. I mean, he is causing so much havoc and destruction to GCU. I'm telling you, if chat could see our faces, they'd be pulling the same faces as us. I mean, how St. Clair Saints walked away with that round? Analytically,
Attackers
We'll
need
never
to
know.
locate and defuse bombs.
This is
They've
gun
got-
skill.
they got gun skill. Maybe they've got a clover. Maybe they've got a rabbit's foot. I'd love to know. Please feel free to tell any of us. But
Yeah.
GCU, they're so aggressive, and the aggressions aren't prolonged. They're almost in these really short bursts. And in Siege, that's what you want to kind of do with your aggression. You don't want it to prolong, because if you aggress too much in a long period of time, you're always going to end up
10
tunnel
seconds
vision.
remaining.
You do it in short bursts, you're more likely to walk away with a kill. You're
5
more
seconds
likely
to
to walk away from a post plant, diffusing, whatever the situation may be.
Attackers must
It's always
locate
better in
and
the
defuse
short
the
bursts.
bomb.
I feel the way you gotta do it with the short bursts is you gotta have several. You can't just have one. And I feel like GCU are just doing one short burst of aggression and then that's it. We saw, I think it was on round 2, they ran in, attempted to plant the bomb. Were just unsuccessful by like 1 second. We've seen it last round. They ran in, got the bomb down, but then they were still aggressing when it wasn't necessary to aggress.
Yeah, I think that's a relatively fair assessment. I mean, I think one of the biggest issues they continue to have is just that they're just kind of getting caught looking, right? Every once in a while, there'll just be a random nice shot, by the way, from Klimps. My God, White Terror, the Terror, getting perforated right there by that headshot. Nothing else to be said about it, but I was going to say, I think one of the issues they had is things almost like that, but in reverse, where just one member of the enemy team gets into a position where they just kill a GCU member and absolutely shut everything down. But here's GCU on the revenge trail. Look at this, the kills they've been getting. Back and forth they go. There is a down, I think, in there temporarily, but the two members of the St. Clair Saints that are left are absolutely overwhelmed right now. Salty Boy with the Desperation Nitro Cell up through the floor, won't find anything. The Captain Trap, however, will. As Bozaroni's bad day continues here on this map, he walks straight into a Captain Trap and gets evaporated, but there's Klimps on the triple. And the new name in town is Klimps. Bozaroni be damned. Baka backing out as the plant goes down from example, and this should be a win for GCU Purple.
Baka dancing around with those bullets there. It's a 1v4. It's not looking great. He's going to pick up one, but Klimps is going to shoot him through the wall with the Spanish shotgun. I mean, I think people doubt shotgun secondaries a lot. They are deadly. Like, if you ever come across me in a ranked game and I'm feeling it, I won't even go for the primaries. I will whip out a super shorty, or I will whip out any other sort of secondary shotgun, and trust me, I'll ruin your day. But
That's fair.
GCU Purple, they've got a round on the board. They're going to want to secure their next round. You could say, yeah, but they're backing on their defense. Their defense is better than their attack. But then
Defenders,
4,
protect your
5
bombs
rounds,
being
it's a
defused by
lot to win
attackers.
consecutively. You know, because they need to sort of get to that point when you're climbing a mountain, maybe, and you're at the peak, but then you get over it and there's another one. I feel like that's what GCU are sort of looking at right now. You know, they've got to climb up towards St. Clair's, where St. Clair's are, and then, you know, they get to that peak, but the game's not over. It's only 4-4. they've got to climb further to get to that match point. If that sort
10
of
seconds
makes
to go.
sense, what I'm saying.
It does. No, I know what you mean. I mean, there's still a long road, right,
Yeah.
for the members of the St. Clair Saint, or I'm sorry, for the members of GCU. I mean, there's a long road for the St. Clair Saints as well, right? But the biggest road here is definitely GCU. Needs to really kind of make something happen in the next round, something like that, where they just pop off, they just get a bunch of kills. That's what you need to see. But they've really, I think, kind of been struggling to make that happen. The last round in and of itself, I think, is a bit of a what's the right word for it? It's a bit of an aberration at the moment. And I think we'll see probably we'll need to see another one just like that in order for me to feel convinced that GCU is not just kind of getting this taken away from them on this map.
Yeah, but Rapid going to be taken off the board already. So hopefully he's got all three of his Frostbands down somewhere and he's relayed to his teammates where they are. Because otherwise they might not be as useful. We did get into the Frostwheel work in the last map on Oregon. And how we both have a similar opinion of what we, how it is and what we feel about it. Corey Rob below, facing that verticality with the Mossberg. He's going to look up with the SMG-11, but it's not going to be enough as Bozaroni finally, he puts his name on the board and he's able to secure himself a kill there. Nade's going to roll down, but it's going to be taken out by the ADS that Bacchus placed down earlier in the prep phase, and he's saved by the bathroom door there. But Example is going to be saving his teammates from Wide Terror, the man who has been securing St. Clair a lot of these rounds. Plant's going down though, but Bacca, is he aware? He's not. They're off the plant now, but there we
go.
Communication. That's it.
It was exactly what they needed. It's exactly what they needed right there, Carpi.
Yeah.
An explosive round from GCU Purple. I mean, that's what I was saying. I needed to see another one from them. They had to get that 4-2 right on the defensive half, or the offensive half. And the St. Clair Saints, they're looking a little discomforted on those last two. I'm not sure exactly what was going wrong. I think that they were doing a bit of a poor job of containing the GCU aggression. It's almost like GCU transitioned from being really kind of methodical in the ways that they were attacking to a much more just in your face aggressive approach, and it really was working out for them.
Yeah, no, you've hit it bang on the target there, really. Bozaroni, he's
Defenders,
managed
protect
to
your
put
bombs
himself
from
on the
being
board
defused
as
by
well,
attackers.
secured himself 2 kills there, along with Smiley, who also managed to secure a kill. So, GCU, is this the signs of them starting to
Bomb located
relay
by
towards
attackers.
us that they're locked in and they're ready to finish this map out and secure themselves another win to put on the board? Or has St. Clair maybe got something to say about it? We see the Thermite. We did see it once on Oregon, but it didn't go entirely
10
to
seconds
plan.
left before insertion.
And then since then, we've
Yes.
just not seen a peep out of a
5
Thermite. But
seconds
now,
left before insertion.
on border, looking at a Thermite. And
Attackers' objective
I'm
is
intrigued.
to defuse
Like
the
I said,
bomb.
I do like a Thermite play. So, Bacca, you've got this. I believe in you. Pull something out of
it's
the
a-
Thermite hat.
He's an operator that works. I mean, you can definitely make him work on border, especially on this site. You can get close enough to the point where, you can bring those thermite, the charge to bear, the exothermic. It depends a lot on how tight the defense wants to play it. It's a bit of a different setup here, though. I do wonder if maybe they're going to bring him in on the archive side instead, as some sort of device going over the head of Terror right there. White Terror, I don't actually think they know that White Terror is there. Rapid trying to push some shots down into Archive. I assume they're going to try and take kind of the fountain area, maybe set up the exothermic on one of those walls, but certainly their work will be cut out for them if they try and do it. And I can't imagine, by the way, that's where that FNAT mine was meant to end up.
Yeah, no, I can't particularly seeing that being the wisest of placements, so maybe it was accidental. But you never know, they might just be pulling something out of the bag. Maybe they're trying to distract us, but why Terror is going to be able to pick example of Matumba's going to get one onto Salty Boy. And it's a 3 versus 4, but Bozzaroni, he's on the board. Now he's swinging, he's cooking. He's got a frying pan and a bit of oil, and he's only just begun. Baka just on the outside of the south balcony here, looking to progress into CC if he gets the all clear from his teammates. White Terror holding a tight angle onto 90. We see the drones are going to fly out. White Terror is going to open up the wall a bit, but he's got the man, the myth, the legend, Bozzaroni to face in Fountain before he can think about edging towards sight.
Bozzaroni there engaging. Bozzaroni cannot find the kill. He's gotten 3 so far, so he's at least broke his curse, but he just can't secure him when it counts. And that was another rough situation right there. Corey Rob throwing the Thatcher grenade over the top. The EMP not doing enough work. Smiley here, the last one left alive, has to get a cut down early on, actually peeling back right there. Doesn't want to take that fight face to face. That angle just being covered by White Terror though, and that's not a pleasant gunfight to have to take. Little bit of movement there, trying to hold the pixel. Another EMP grenade comes sailing over, but Smiley is not moving. Smiley needs to fire. He does. Terror down. Smiley continues to fall back here, but he's running out of room. There's not much farther he can go here over on the Locker's side. The plant now coming down from Baka. Smiley pushing up. He's got the correct read, but he doesn't have the correct angle. Corey Rob holding on the 90 will bring him down.
Yeah, Corey Rob. Then they had to switch. As we see now, they're now on defense instead of attacking. And like I said earlier, is that going to sort of fumble them mentally? Is it going to fumble them physically? Only time can really tell. St. Clair Saints, I mean, when you think about choosing a map, right? You think you want to be comfortable. You want to know that you're going to secure multiple rounds. You know that you're not going to struggle. St. Clair's are defining that with their map pick. I mean,
Yes.
GCU, they've had their map pick. They've had Oregon. They have defined Oregon as their map pick. They definitely were the stronger team, but St. Clair's were still out there and they were just fighting to take GCU
10 seconds left
to
before
their
insertion.
pick. And I mean, I tell you, the St. Clair's that I've seen here, the St. Clair's I've seen on Oregon,
Discover
it's
the location of a
it's
bomb.
night and day almost, but at the same time, it's almost not. I just feel they've got so much confidence here on Border, and it really does show.
Yeah, it does, and this is one of those things. I mean, it's just the way that it goes, right? You win your map, they win their map, and then you're on to the decider, which makes Night Haven, I think, a really interesting and sort of intense choice. I mean, just the way that these maps have been going, right? The way Oregon went and the way that we saw, oh no, the guns just opening up. I'm waffling on, and the guns are just opening up here for the St. Clair Saints. Klimp's trying to pull it back in. Gets one. Klimp's looking for another one. Well, there's nobody down there. Rapid's already out of sight. And this is a bad way for this to open here for the GCU Purple when things are already looking dire.
Yeah, I mean, Smiley now being down there, but Rapid and Klimps, both the Canadian operators, just trying to find each other's heads, but nothing coming out of them as of yet. White Terror's going to get one onto Smiley, but then White Terror's going to get another. I mean, let me finish someone's name before you go finish the round, White Terror. I don't know where he comes from. He just appears. Whether it's mid-round or late round, you won't see him in the early round. You just won't. But you won't see him approach. He will genuinely teleport into sight, or he will teleport where the most enemy players are, and he will pick off 2 of them. Now, I don't know how he does it, but he does. But if you are St. Clair's,
Yes.
or if you are GCU, sorry, you need to be thinking to yourselves, how is this happening? Why is this happening?
Attackers
Those are
need to
2
locate
key
and defuse
words,
bombs.
how and why. Because if you keep on letting it happen, you're going to keep on losing rounds. But if you figure out maybe it's because we weren't on the cams, maybe it's because he slipped through a gap here that was left by a rotate due to the strat that we're playing, you know, read into the player, not the play sometimes.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Yeah. I just think that, you know, maybe GCU Purple has sort of mentally written this one off. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it just feels like they're struggling. They're not firing on all cylinders, which is a shame because, you know, the defensive side of Border should theoretically be a little bit easier, but they're losing these early gunfights in particular, right? We've seen a lot of early deaths, and those early deaths are things that St. Clair Saints are just capitalizing on. But to go back to the point, by the way, that I was trying to make at the start of the last round, I genuinely have no idea what Nighthaven is going to look like with these two teams, because Nighthaven is a big map. It is a complex map. There is a lot of verticality, a lot of twists and turns. It is kind of the antithesis of an Oregon, or, you know, the antithesis even of a Border. And that Border is a relatively simple map at the end of the day. It's going to be a wild one if we take that swap. I really do think that. And by all accounts, the way things are going here, we are definitely going to take that swap. But Matumba doing his absolute best to make sure it doesn't happen. A nasty shot to open it up. A Rapid, of course, right there to trade it back.
Yeah, like you said, have GCU written this off mentally? Maybe they're actually using this as a mental... You know what? Maybe I'm completely wrong, because Smiley's just gone and picked up 2 kills. He may be down, but he's managed to pick up 2 kills, and he's got his team in the upper hand situation here. Bozaroni gonna pass one more, and he's gonna pick up Corey Rob there, and all of a sudden it's down to Salty Boys. Oh, you gotta remember to keep count of that ammo, because otherwise they are gonna have the advantage there. But oh, it wasn't the Kector that killed him.
No, it's from below.
It was from below.
The SMG. He catches him looking at a good round win there for GCU Purple, but they're still on match point, backs to the walls. They have to be frame perfect on every round, Carpi, and that just does not always happen.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But I mean, GCU, they now have to win these next 3 defenses consecutively. But not only do they have to win it consecutively, they have to then do a whole rotation. So they have to do 2 primaries and the tertiary. So no matter what, they have to face their fear of the tertiary. And it looks like they're starting off with it. But in my opinion, right, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm going to get shouted at for this, but is this site a tertiary site for you?
No, I don't think so. I would consider this secondary.
Yeah, I would consider this your secondary. I would consider your primary armory and archives. Then you would drop to this one, and then your tertiary would either be customs or you'd have bathroom and pillars. So, you know, I don't know. Some people say the bathroom is more. I don't see it. I don't, because once you lose your top floor roamers, the game just becomes so much harder. And it kind of gets you thinking, right? Corbec, what really makes us define a primary site? Like, what makes a primary site a primary site?
It's just the ease at which it can be held, right? The lack of sort of good offensive angles and what have you. And I think one of the reasons, by the way, that the site we're on right now is the secondary site is because so much of your defense of the secondary site is reliant on defending the primary site. So you funnel your opponents into a difficult situation twice in a row. Example, by the way, taking a huge amount of damage right there. Must have been from a frag grenade, but it's Bozaroni who strikes first. The GCU Purple train building up a little bit of steam here. To try and hold this one and come back to an overtime. They were in overtime on the last map, and they did win it. Oh, the overtime for Matumba doesn't find the headshot. He was all lined up with the MPX, but he couldn't make it click. That's a bit unfortunate right there as Corey Rob throws the Claymore down and challenges the angle again.
Yeah, but Corey Rob, he's not going to move very far. He's going to fly sky high as Klimps blows him literally towards the roof. And now we're left in the 3 versus 4, but Salty Boy has kept account of his ammo this time, and he's managed to pick one up onto Bozaroni. And all of a sudden, it's not looking so good for GCU Purple. Lost a character. Oh, but they've swung it back in their favor in a 4 versus 2. Baka gonna look to potentially pick up the player in archives, otherwise known as Smiley, but he has got a good couple of teammates backing him right now. Example down below. Rotating, but Glimpse.
How?
The SMG-11, my friend. It's a deadly weapon.
It is a deadly weapon. Glimpse wielding it well right there to secure that kill, and all of a sudden, the St. Clair attack getting eviscerated, and Glimpse goes in for the brutal finisher, point blanking in with the shotgun. I'll even forgive him for using a sight on it right there as he finishes him off, and on to round 11 we go, and GCU Purple on a comeback run here, Carpi.
I mean, they are. But they still got that tertiary site. And they still got another secondary site. So they've got the snowball moving, but it's only a tiny snowball right now. They need to get the speed and then just work their way towards match point, and then they can go to overtime. And then hopefully they'll be able to sweep St. Clair's off their feet. But then again, I would like to go see Nighthaven. Maybe other people wouldn't, but I would. I definitely like to see it. Whether the teams have strats, whether they've scrimmed on it, I'd like to see it. Because I feel like Nighthaven is still fairly a new map.
Yeah, it is a new map, and I would love to see it. I mean, I think a GCU comeback run here into overtime would certainly be spectacular when you think about the sheer amount of rounds that they have to win out in order for that to happen. But as I said at the start of the other round, you are also genuinely on a razor's edge, right? Like, there's not a lot to this. If you make even one mistake, you forego even one early death. GCU Purple will not be able to win. St. Clair Saints will just run it home. They've done really well, I think, so far to hold it together in the way that they have, but it does feel at times it's a little bit rickety. I say that, though, Carpi, and these last two defensive wins have felt genuinely decisive. No joke. They actually feel like they really have things in hand. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on the St. Clair Saints side, because this should really be their rounds to win.
Yeah, you are indeed right. I feel like St. Clair's, all they have to do is get one more round. They do literally just have to get one more round, and then that's it. They've secured themselves the deciding map. Now, Terror, he's already launched himself into CC with the abundance of his teammates joining him in. I like this. Feel like he might be able to pick up a kill onto Matumba here, as he does a little damage. Yellow pings are coming out. Ooh. Is that what I think it is?
Oh, what a frag grenade. What a frag grenade from Y Terror over the top to find Matumba early on, and that'll shut the Fenrir down. Better hope that he activated his FNATs before he was dead, as Corey Robb is taking a lot of damage on the other side, but does not go down. Example, wielding the Nitro Cell. He's got the pick. If he just throws it, I don't think he quite realizes. There we go! And the pick the other direction. Y Terror's explosive end, a mirror of the one that he just brought about. And the St. Clair Saints and GCU Purple, they're tied up now on this match point round. Salty Boy, he'll pull out a frag grenade here. I don't think the defender is aware. Example, gets one kill, Klims is down. Oh, it's a flurry of death. And at the end of it all, Salty Boy is the only one left alive in a 2v1 versus Bozerosi. Example, Salty Boy will have to make something amazing happen here to pull this off, and he doesn't. Bozerosi swings around the corner, picks up the kill. Good distraction, actually, watching that back, Carpi. That was actually really clever.
It really was. I mean, that round was quite incredible. We started off that round with a man who knows his geometry clearly fairly well, as he was able to calculate the angle of the nade and just bounce it between those two walls. I feel like nade cooking is still one of those things that is, you've got to be certified in it. If you ain't certified in nade cooking, don't try it, because it will end up with you dying. It's not a good thing. Try it in T-Hunts, and then work your way into casual, from casual, unranked to ranked, and from ranked you can bring it into scrims. From scrims you can bring it into league games. That is the Carpi scale. You gotta progress everything slowly but surely. But GCU, they're on it. It's match point. If they manage to get this round, they're going to go to overtime again. We've seen GCU, when it comes to overtime, it's almost like something in their head, maybe it's the pressure, but something in their head, it just kicks everything into like a seventh gear, or the sixth gear, the seventh gear, you know, everything just starts moving at maximum speed, and they whip out strats in milliseconds almost, and they whip out executions in milliseconds, and it gets you thinking, how come GCU doesn't do that in regulation play? How come it only really comes out in, you know, overtime?
Yeah, it's a good question to ask, and it really feels like, you know, they suddenly picked it back up when the chips are down. Corey Rob rocking straight into the Capkin right there. The EED going off. And, I mean, again, St. Clair Saints, they just have to kind of let it rip. This is a very winnable situation for them. All of these rounds have been winnable for the St. Clair Saints, but I mean, they've got to shut down some of these individuals. They don't have any presence on the low ground. By the way, example, biting off more than he can chew. And maybe that's the opening there that Rapid needed. He gets a very early kill, but they don't have any idea, by the way, that Klimps is underneath. Yet again, they failed to mark the Frost player lurking down below. Smiley here holding in Armory. It's a brave position to be in. Klimps there looking for the kill. Klimps, he doesn't see him out of the corner of his eye. Klimps is down, and it's a 5v2, and just when it looked like GCU Purple might throw this one back the opposite direction, the St. Clair Saints come alive here and start collecting kills, slowly trying to use Matumba as bait. Will step up slowly but surely into this. He's going to have to be the game winner here. He doesn't find it a 5v1. He would have to ace Carpi to finish this off. It requires a lot of coordination to effectively pull it off. And because it is new to the map pool, I think a lot of people are still learning it in a lot of ways. We have seen it creep into the pro scene a little bit more. But I will say, like, even pros, if you watch the major coverage, for example, and I know we've talked about it a couple of times, but it is going on right now. If you watch the major coverage, a lot of teams are not particularly gung-ho about the idea of playing Nighthaven. They're still not particularly happy about the idea of playing Nighthaven. And if that is the situation on the pro side, then it kind of filters down to the collegiate levels too, where people are not super excited to play this map. Now, if I had to choose between Nighthaven and Consulate, which was the map ban choice that had to be made, Carpi, I would choose Nighthaven because Consulate is literally hell. Pinhead from Hellraiser is in there. All the demons that you can imagine, they're all hiding in all those weird corners and awkwardly designed sites. Nighthaven is at least better than that.
Yeah, it is, and I'm intrigued. So we've got a Maverick ban coming out, and I guess that's probably due to the top floor garage wall. I can only assume. Ying, I think Ying's been banned all 3 maps now, along with Solace. Pretty sure Solace has also been banned all 3 maps. But the final ban of tonight, what do you think we're gonna see?
Probably, maybe a Fenrir. That would make a lot of sense. This is a good map for Fenrir just because there are some nice hidey holes for the Fenrir gadgets, and it'll be Wamai. Now, that is an interesting choice. Maverick and Wamai are strange bands, to say the least. Wamai is obviously a good operator. I mean, he's definitely not bad, and I think he genuinely gets more play than Jaeger these days. But he's not a game breaker. And the end result is that Fenrir and Azami, Mira, I mean, they're all the strong, all the strong defensive operators are still very much present here. But maybe the St. Clair Saints are okay with that. They are starting on the defense after all.
Yeah, no, they are. But I feel like they've got, you know, like you said, they've got the Azami to play with. They've got the Mira to play with. Use it, you know. Rapid, please. Okay. Castle, fair pick. You know, you can sort of shift attackers through corridors that they don't want to go to and make them use utility to open up doorways or windows. So Castle, definitely a good operator pick, but like you said, they have got Azami on the board, they have got Mira. Use it to your advantage. You know, we don't get to see a lot of Mira plays, we don't get to see a lot of Azami plays, we don't get to see a lot of Fenrir plays. You've got to use these characters when they're not banned.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You got to use them, and the fact that none of them have been brought out, I think, is genuinely surprising to me. Azami in particular, such a strong defensive operator. I mean, genuinely one of the strongest defensive operators, if not the strongest defensive operator in the game, Carpi. Like, that's just how it is. If you're going to solo queue rank, and you got the choice, solo queue Izami. But the fact that she's not here, I mean, this is going to make it a little bit harder on them. No doubt about it. I mean, I think the big reliance here, they don't even have a Valk, by the way, which I think is crazy for a map this big. I think the big reliance here is just that Y Terror gets kills. And sure enough, Bozaroni drops early. Y Terror gets a kill. I think they're relying heavily on that MPX of the Warden to do some serious work.
Fair enough, Y Terror. I mean, you're carrying on what you started in Border and you're carrying it all the way over to Nighthaven. The real question is, are you going to be able to continue? And Matumba says, no, not today, bud. It's going to be the end of you. But Salty Boy, he sees Rapid trying to pull the good old... Wait. Oh, did Rapid? I think Rapid got him. Salty Boy didn't actually pick him off there. Rapid managed to get the head just in time. But Salty Boy... I mean, Rapid, sorry. I'm so confused because I genuinely thought that Salty did get that kill. Rapid just managing to shut down the Spider-Man maneuver from, I believe it was Bozaroni there. But now, 4 versus 3, minute 35 on the clock. Just got to see how they play it out. They have got Breach open, but they need to make some sort of execution. They need to start something. Smiley, he's going to get a pick onto Rapid. This is a good start. He's bringing the numbers back down to an even Stevens situation. Example, just going to pre-fire. He's not too sure where he wants to make his final position. Not too sure where he wants to settle down and truly make an impact here.
Early kill, or another kill coming out from Matumba, turning into a 3v2. Matumba's going to rotate around the opposite direction here on Nighthaven, trying to get in over towards the other side of this top floor control center. And that foothole might actually come in handy right there if they're not paying attention. Corey Rob rotating back in towards the bomb site here as well. Corey Wright checking down the first drone coming out right there. And Baca, his position is given up twice. The drone comes in. He doubles back over to just cover that. Some shots coming out there. That's Matumba who's trying to force it. Corey Rob holding a good position, and I don't think Corey Rob is necessarily marked. That said, a triple kill for Matumba. Corey Rob just has too many targets. And Matumba with the headshot down range picks up one more, and GCU comes out roaring on site number 1 here. Or round number 1, I should say.
Yeah, round number 1, GCU. Maybe Border was a mental break for them. Maybe it just was sort of them chilling out a bit. They were like, okay, you know, we're 1 map up. We're not extremely worried. Maybe they've been waiting to take St. Clair Saints all the way to Nighthaven. Maybe they've just been prolonging St. Clair's inevitable loss. Maybe GCU have had this in the hat the whole time. I guess just gotta wait and see whether St. Clair's might have a couple tricks up there. But I mean, I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary strat-wise here. I'm not seeing a big, massive extension. I'm not seeing holes galore. There isn't a whole lot going on. They've got the castle, castling off a couple windows, a couple doors, potentially shifting the enemies, but there's not mass amounts. It does look like a particularly normal default setup to me. Maybe, Corbec, you could spot something that I'm just not seeing.
No. No, I don't think I can. I mean, it's not much of a typical setup. It is a bit. I mean, they've stuck to these operators, and they're all relatively straightforward operators, and you know what they do, right? Like, this is a bog standard defensive lineup, I think, in a lot of ways. I just don't know if it's a particularly good defensive lineup for this site. We are in the floor, and it is no longer there. Corey Rob. Back over looking towards the breach that has been opened here. You know, the difficulty with this site, too, is that there is some vertical play involved, and you kind of have to take that into consideration. That's why Rapid is up here. It's really on to that player to try and sort of get the early pick, right? Like, you have to catch one of these attackers as they enter. and shut them down. He's got a little bit of support up there as well. I saw the outline of at least another operator on the top floor. I'm not sure who it was, genuinely. But certainly, I mean, you got to say here, Carpi, the GCU purple side having a little bit of a difficulty on the entry.
Yeah, no, they are kind of struggling to make their way into the building as Rapid definitely cements both of our statements there, picking up a kill onto Klimps as he throws up a donut in 2, but it is still fairly early on in the game, so can't get too decisive Carpi, but Smiley gonna pick off one right back onto Rapid. It's gonna leave us in a 4 versus 4, but White Terror, he's below, and he's been left to wander the map free range style. So maybe now he's gonna show us what he can do on Nighthaven when he's left to his own abode almost. You know, he might be cooking something up here, but example, gonna look to push down CC hallway. As Baka is aware, he's gonna open the wall and that's gonna force Baka to either move or swing. White Terror sees him, but I like this. I like the play. Yes, this White Terror. You're him. Bozaroni is gonna pick up one on Tobacco. I mean, the 1 versus 3 for Bozaroni is not looking particularly great as of now. 3 people swing him at once. Salty Boy is gonna be the one to confirm it. That's all she wrote for round number 2. I tell you what, that was discipline from Terror. That was great discipline. Walking up those stairs and sort of just waiting a second, waiting till he knew that he might be able to get the Ash and someone else. He really did secure and cement that round for his team there.
He certainly did. I don't disagree. I mean, he has kind of been the gunner in motion for them, right? And as White Terror goes, it does often seem so many of these rounds go. I mean, the St. Clair State's doing a good job of evening it back up, right? Like that's well done on their end. Are they going to be able to hold on to it though? That's the thing. I mean, GCU Purple, when they came out on the last round and on the first round and they won it, I mean, they looked particularly decisive, and in truth, that is the strongest bomb site here on Nighthaven. These bomb sites are all right, but they are not as strong. That is definitely the top one. So something to keep in mind there as well. Now, the MPX is going to stay because you've got Y Terror over on the Valkyrie now, which means that he can still gun freely. The only other big shift here is Salty Boy will be taking over on the Legion. So look again to that second floor extension, and you can see the shifts coming in here on GCU Purple as well, Carpi. They are definitely looking for some sort of vertical play, namely Smiley playing the Buck, and White Terror, he's going to run out and reinforce this top hatch. This is a very common maneuver, by the way, on this Nighthaven map when people figured out you could get by with it. But it does always feel a bit risky.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like when you see that, you are detected flashing on your screen and knowing players know where you are. But White Terror doesn't let to see, is not letting anything stop him. And the same goes for the Batumba as he's able to pick one onto Corey Rob, and it's almost like nothing has changed. We've just gone from a 5 versus 5 to a 4 versus 4. It's 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the round. There's loads of time to work with. There's loads of utility to work with. There's loads of information to work with. It's almost like, what is there not to work with as of this current moment?
Terror there throwing some shots down and then just retreating back towards Salty Boy. The second floor, I think, effectively seeded when White Terror is out of that. I mean, the loss of Corey Rob earlier on is definitely a blow, but it's not insurmountable. As you see that Buck moving into position here with the soft breach util. Underneath, White Terror maybe trying to double up and take a different angle here. Deny, perhaps? And he does. Good. Nitro Cell up to the top, and there's that verticality in play again. Batumba taken down, and now we're to the 4v3 as Bozaroni is just going to aggressively challenge. I don't know how that wasn't a headshot, but it skims right over Salty Boy, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, like St. Clair Saints maybe cruising towards another round win, and Smiley doesn't know about Salty Boy hiding to his right. And then it'll be Example who gets eaten up there at the tail end. So GCU not able to get it done. The St. Clair Saints go up another round here on this decider map.
Yeah, and now as we approach round 4, Sinclair's, as you said, they've just taken a round, so maybe is this round gonna cement them, feeling that they've got the defense in control, that they know what they're doing, that they're not gonna let GCU just push them around. Although we're yet to see basement, right? We've not seen basement. Yet to see it. But now we see it, finally. A little bit of tank and assembly. And it's
Attackers need to
interesting to me
locate and defuse
that they're
bombs.
playing the tank and assembly site as the tertiary. Because to me, this is a secondary site or a primary. I don't know. That is just my opinion. What do you think, Corbec?
I don't know. It's hard because yes, I agree. Why you would? I can definitely see why people would think that. I also think that it's a bit of an awkward site to defend. Like there are more angles of attack on this basement than you would necessarily think. There's a lot of outdoor vulnerability. There's vertical vulnerability, and there are these multiple doorways, right, that people can attack you from. Yes, thank you, Observer, for showing all that. I appreciate it. There are all these doorways and staircases and stuff. And what tends to happen is it does often feel like once you have your rotates together and stuff, there are a lot of places that you can get shot from and not a lot of places where you can sort of comfortably rest. Like, for example, you can trick that back wall, but if somebody slips down that staircase, you're very vulnerable to that, right? From somebody coming up behind you. So it's a hard site to hold. But again, I mean, the strategy continues to consistently be White Terror go kill. And nothing too different here. White Terror with the MP7 on the blitz. He wants to go kill. I don't understand what the plan was right there. I think they're trying to EMP this, and they just mistimed it a little bit. But there we go. I think Smiley should have gotten it open, and now this becomes a very aggressive push. But keep an eye on Bozaroni there, Carpi, who's going to try and I think be the sort of spoiler while everybody is focused on that wall.
Yeah, an example gonna pick one up onto Corey Rob, and finally GCU are gonna lead with an opening kill here. But White Terror gonna swing up. There's no way. There's nothing that stops this man. There's just nothing stops him. The aggression from White Terror is uncanny. He fears no one and nothing in this Rainbow Six Siege life. But my name is Baka. He's gonna chuck out a smoke canister there, waste about 20 seconds of the attacker's time. Make sure that they're not gonna hop through that breach hole any moment. And Rapid's gonna spot the feet of Clemson.
No.
That's not the way you wanna go, is it, Corbec?
No, not at all. And that's just making this even better here. Terror goes for that. The frag grenade coming the other direction. Neither explosive lands. Terror just pumping shots towards Bozaroni, but Bozaroni survives it all. Bozaroni running low on utility there as well. It does actually have those boosts if they want to use it. I thought he didn't have any because he didn't immediately activate it during that gunfight. Rapid there. Nearly eats lead to the face, instead falls back. All of this is just wasting time for GCU Purple. Terror has actually doubled all the way back to cover that outdoor breach, but Rapid remains on the top floor, a serious threat here. Bozaroni needs to be very careful about this because I don't think they have any idea that Rapid is still holding on that floor. Example just opening up walls right now. They're looking for any possible entrance they can find, and sure enough, Bozaroni gets caught out by Rapid, and I don't think GCU Purple is walking away from this one despite Smiley's efforts.
Yeah, GCU Purple, they led so strongly, but now they're struggling. An example, I've spoken too soon. Caster's Curse. Example's gonna pick some Baka's head off there, and he's gonna pick another one of Salty Boy. He's on a triple now. He's looking to edge towards that 4K, but White Terror, the man, the myth, the legend, he's gonna look to swing in here. He's gonna be able to get what? He's gonna be able to get him off the plant, but he doesn't know. He doesn't see the prone. White Terror. He's him.
He is. He's carrying them right there. There's nothing else to that, honestly. It's like that meme of the guy carrying the horse. Like he's picking him up and he's just dragging him in. Because Example did a spectacular job right there, Carpi, of doubling that back. They had Smiley getting the plant down. Admittedly, maybe not in the best position, but the plant was still going down. And I mean, who else appears but Terror to just lock it down with these highly accurate pea shooter guns, the MP7 and the MPX, just punishing GCU Purple constantly.
Attackers need to locate.
That said, it's still early days. I mean, it is only round 5. It is a defensively favored map for all intents and purposes here. So GCU Purple, if they can add one more to the board and close this out at a 4-2, it's not the worst situation.
No, it definitely won't be, but yet they still have to deal with the terror known as White Terror. He genuinely has just been shredding GCU Purple apart since he stepped foot in Border, and he's just not let off the gas pedal. He's had his foot firmly on it ever since he started in Border. I mean, I reckon he could probably reach 20. If he keeps the numbers going continuously and we go to a hefty, you know, maybe a 7-6 scoreline in favor of St. Clair's, I reckon the White Terror would definitely reach 20 kills here. Not to say, I don't think anyone can come close to Bozzaroni's 23 earlier today on Oregon, because he was cooking with straight fire.
He was cooking with straight fire. I mean, Bozzaroni, unfortunately, hasn't been able to rekindle that fire so far here, and they definitely need that at this stage. Matumba pushing up here on the gridlock, going to go ahead and secure those stairs. Now, they do have a Montaigne. That's Klimps playing the shield operator, and that could be a genuinely dangerous threat here. Using these impact EMPs to go ahead and open up this wall, he should be able to kind of push in there if he chooses or wherever he goes and provide some much needed intel here for the team. Smiley there on the wide swing. Got to be a little bit careful, though. You don't want to get caught, Carpi. You don't want to get caught looking early in the round.
Bomb located by attackers.
You really don't. And, I mean, the Monty play, I like it. I do love good old Monty play. You can use him as the human wall. You can shift those defenders into positions that they don't ever want to dream of approaching. And, you know, you can also use him as a mirror shield if you are able to communicate with your Monty clearly and carefully that he's not to move, otherwise you may end up hitting him in the back of the skull. But Bozzaroni, he's gonna pick up a kill, and this is potentially him starting to rekindle that fire he lit on Oregon. You know what they say about fire, right? There's three things you need to make fire. Maybe it's his teammates. Rapid and Matumba both gonna get kills here. Rapid's gonna get his second as he brings it back to a versus 3, but Bozzaroni, the plant is going down. There's no way they're going to stop this. He's planting directly behind Klimps. The coordination between these two is insane.
There we go.
Klimps needs to stand still, but he needs to let Bozzaroni do his thing.
That's the classic Montaigne error. That's funny, by the way. That's the classic Montaigne error. Is that you get clipped in the back by your own teammate, and I'm sure that their words have been exchanged over there on the GCU Purple side, because it was a good execute for what it was, and they might have been able to effectively hold that. Just unfortunate right there to clip the head trying to cover that other angle.
I thought that he was going to be his oxygen and just fuel him. I thought he was going to be the key to relight the fire of Bozzaroni, but it wasn't quite it. I feel like Klimps might have just gotten a little shaken up as that C4 tilted his shield far left of him and left his right leg and foot exposed there. And he just sort of moved right, just a little unaware of what Bozzaroni was doing or how he was playing. Maybe the communication wasn't there, but if only we were in their VC and able to hear their voice comms, maybe we'd get a little more in-depth view of what the play was.
Yep. 100%. And again, GCU Purple, they just need to win one of these rounds, right, to put themselves in a decent position. Because going down 5-1, as silly as it sounds, going 5-1 at the half goes just 4-2 at the half. I mean, it's a genuinely significant difference. So this is a bomb site I feel like they could win. Like, I really do genuinely feel like they could win this one. They got kind of close on this one last time. I think that the thing is they cannot afford to give up these really costly trade backs to St. Clair Saints. You see moments where GCU Purple picks up a kill, and then the Saints just kind of whip it back the opposite direction. It was Rapid that time in the mid-round who picked up 2 kills. They can't afford those kind of errors, frankly. And if they are going to give up a kill like that, they need to be able to trade it right back. So whether that means kind of closing down the roam a little bit better or whatever it is, they need to figure out something. But here's White Terror trying to go to work yet again. Very nearly gets the kill on example early on.
Yeah, but he's not quite able to finish example off, or just he tags him up. He says, "I'll be back for you later. You mark my words." A 5v5, 2 minutes on the board. You know, St. Clair's, they're 4 rounds up here. And White Terror, he strikes again onto Bozaroni, but this time he's going to be taken down shortly after he has detrimented the attackers. It's going to be Smiley who downs him, but Matumba goes for the rev, and he's not going to be able to get it. Sorry, Corey goes for the rev. And Matumba is able to get the kill onto White Terror. And it's not looking too good here for Smiley. Remember, like you said earlier in Oregon today, those bullets will go both ways, and Rapid and Smiley exchange a look. And a couple bullets will hit Smiley, but nothing onto Rapid, leaving us in a 4 versus 4. A minute left. We've heard the exothermic charge go out. I think they've opened the lobby wall, if I'm right. I may be wrong. I don't know what they've opened. It might be the hatch. Maybe it's the hatch. Salty Boy's going to pick up Smiley, though, leaving us in a 4 versus 3 scenario. Klimps is going to look to potentially push with his teammates now. Example, heading up the stairs to where he must have just received the call that Salty Boy's upstairs. But Klimps is going to get one onto Rapid, and all of a sudden, the gunfire is everywhere. Matumba's taking damage due to this Legion Mine. He has to make a decision here, and he is going to go for the kill. But is he going to get the Legion Mine out? Just in time there.
Salty Boy still holding up on the top floor, and that's a bit of an issue. Baka is obviously down here as well. Baka from an unseen quadrant. It's taken down by Klimps, and now Salty Boy trying to run in the backside. This has been the perennial issue for GCU Purple, is stuff exactly like this. Are they aware that Salty Boy is here? Fortunately, they get the plant down. Salty Boy was not quick enough on the read there to shut down the planter, though he certainly could have, and then he gets caught from an unexpected angle, and there is that elusive second attacking win for the side of GCU Purple, keeping themselves very much in this contest.
Yeah, GCU, they've just managed to strike out another round, leaving the 4-2 split. Now GCU are going to get an attempt on defense, but we have seen that St. Clair's are just as strong as on their attack as they are on their defense. But is that the question of what map they're playing? Is it the question of what strat they're using? You know, there's a lot of different factors to sort of include in that final calculation of who is going to come out the stronger team. But GCU, they've got defense. I don't know. We've not really spoken a lot about whether Nighthaven is a defensive sided map or an attacker sided map. I feel like we should scratch the surface there.
I mean, I do think it generally tends to be defensive oriented. That's just my read on it. Because it is wider, because it is kind of awkward and more complicated, I think it generally tends to favor defenses. And I think that stat line bears that out, right? At least in the context of this. But then again, I mean, newer maps sometimes tend to favor offenses just because people don't know the good defensive setups yet. I just don't think that's the case here on Nighthaven. I think the map itself is a little too cumbersome for it to be too easy for the offense to handle.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I reckon just because this map is rather vast and rather big, there's a lot of angles to think about, a lot of rooms to clear. Drone economy has to be high if you want to be successful with your roam clear. If you want to speed things up, by all means, go for the White Terror method. Kill them, or play Jackal, because he will definitely help clear roamers. Example, taking a hefty amount of damage. I'm not quite sure who from. I think it might have been the Gridlock there, but a nade rolls on top of E-Box. And Salty Boy just looking to potentially cook another nade up there. Not too sure. They've got the breach open though, so things are looking pretty good for St. Clair's.
They're looking good, at least here at the start. I mean, this is an aggressive close take right there. Rapid secures the kill of Matumba. I don't even think he was aiming for Matumba. I think he aimed right past his target, so the Fenrir is down early. Keep in mind, though, they do have the Azami. What is going on right there? It is Smiley firing through that feed hole. That's the second death via little drone hole that we've seen so far. Smiley getting hyper aggro right there, but will fall back as Y Terror finds a kill. Y Terror finds two before his reign of terror is killed by a Nitro Cell. Corey Robb trying to go for the swing. Salty Boy finds it. We're down to the 1v1. It's Smiley versus Salty Boy here. The two of them facing off. The Gridlock versus the Mira. A duel of the three armors here.
Gridlock versus Mira. Salty Boy versus Smiley. Who will win? A minute and 15 on the clock here. Are they aware of each other's positions? Smiley thinks he's going to come through that door, but is he now going to decide to rotate through breach? A little bit of drone work coming out on the side of Salty. Now, this is the first time Salty has been put in a 1vx scenario that isn't a 1v4 or a 1v5. It's a 1v1. The pressure is going to be on him, and I truly believe Salty has got it in the bag. Just got to play small, and there you have it. He'll use the 1.5 scope to his advantage as he goes for the wider swing onto Smiley there. He secures St. Clair Saints another round, leaving our score at 5-2. And the scoreline looks rather familiar, doesn't it?
It does. It does look rather familiar. 5-2 for the St. Clair Saints on a round that very much should have gone GCU Purple's way. And the reset now coming in the sense that GCU Purple has to win out, basically. They do want to give up another round to St. Clair Saints and put this on to match point. They have to find 3 defensive rounds here. I mean, losing that site is definitely rough for them, but maybe they can pull it back together on downstairs in the tank site. I mean, running out of room very quickly here on the GCU Purple side, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, GCU Purple, if they want to realistically bring the scoreline to an equal score, they've got to win these next 2 rounds. I mean, I said it on Border, and they managed to win 1, but then St. Clair's kept them on match point for 3 rounds, and they managed to get to 5 rounds, but then St. Clair said, okay, you know what, we need to focus up, and they finished it, and they took us to Nighthaven, and that's why that scoreline looks so familiar to me. It's just because this point at last game, it was, you know, GCU needing to step up. But this time, they need to step up now rather than next round. You can't let St. Clair's get to that match point, map point, series point, because I feel like not only are you there, but you'll be there mentally, and GCU Purple, I feel like the pressure of just having that constant match point when you reload into a new round it will get to you eventually.
It will, yeah, and that's a big part of the issue, right? Is it will eventually get to you. White Terror here leading the way in, obviously 12-4. He's been sort of the driving factor for a lot of these offensive wins, but he won't be on this round, or I should say round wins, but he won't be on this round. Bozaroni catches him early, and as goes White Terror, so often go the Saints, because there's another drop as Rapid is brought down by Matumba. This roaming defense here of GCU Purple catching the St. Clair Saints off guard somewhat as they focus back the other direction, where My Name is Baka is going to attempt the outside breach here on the bomb site. Klimps has got to heads up right here at the moment. He goes in for the quick bandit trick. Will it work? I think it just does. Crazy bandit tricking going on there on the walls. Klimps drops a second one in, and that might be the end of this attempt. There is one more exothermic left, though, so the tools are still there, but Klimps is not going to try and contest it again as Salty Boy finds Matumba and even as it back up. And Klimps, he's in a dangerous position. He needs to get out of dodge. Will he make it before he gets shot? He will. And now the second line of defense opens up.
And it's a 4 versus 3. They've managed to get another line of sight open, like you said, but Smiley is going to be able to pick off another one in the form of Salty Boy on that Gridlock. It's now down to Corey and Baka outside the breach, but they have to face a mirror window so deadly, so powerful that it's not gonna go in Corey's favor there. But Baka's gonna get one onto Bozzaroni here. As he looks to swing further, he's gonna take some damage from left, right, and center, but he's being held by 3 members of GCU. And all of a sudden, it's over for My Name is Baka as Klimps shuts him down from the vertical poles above. And GCU, they've kicked it into gear. Now all they have to do is do that twice more to even it up, 3 times if they want to secure that match point. And chat, if you're good at math, 4 times to finish off the series.
Just gotta keep winning. Just keep winning. That's what you gotta do.
Just keep winning, man. Just keep pushing,
Just
no
keep
matter
winning.
what.
No matter what, you just gotta keep winning. Is it a lot to ask? It kind of seems to be in this matchup.
Protect your bombs from being defused
Well,
but,
casters, what can we
yeah?
say?
What can we say?
We are free range of what we're allowed to chat. You know, we can tell the players to push themselves. I believe in these players. I believe that both teams are equally capable of taking this series.
They are.
I feel like
we are. Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna. I feel like this is an overtime. I just sense it. It's in my bones.
Okay. All right. That's a fair prediction. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we took this to overtime. I was going to say the principle of kind of fatigue that you were talking about at earlier stages here is that's coming in. These 2 drones, by the way, exchanging vigorous disagreements about who has to go through the hole first. I don't blame them, honestly, because there's probably a gun on the other side of it. But yeah, you talk about fatigue, right? And that is a factor here. I mean, this has been a long game. We've been at this for over 2.5 hours. We're coming up on the 3-hour mark now, basically. And that's a lot of siege. Again, these are not pro players, right? These are students who play this, and you cannot expect them to have the tenacity of a pro when it comes to these really long-lasting matches. Klimps playing the Azami here, looking for the early kill. I assume that he's hunting for the head of Terror, who did enter in that general vicinity last time. But plenty of drones going out here on the side of the St. Clair Saints to give them a decent idea of what to expect on the top floor. And sure enough, they will drone out Klimps, who might not actually be aware that he's been droned, but is certainly trying to hold there. Has to be very careful about how he does this. Oh, Terror! That's a bold play. Wow.
That is an angle. He decides to hit the control button in prone. And now it looks like Klimps is going to attempt to just reinforce off that hole and make sure his team are just a little bit safer. But is that going to be enough? Is that reinforcement going to be the thing that drives the wooden stake into GCU Purple's heart? I don't know, because White Terror is below with the Powdy Wowdy 500 as he picks off another one in the form of Example, leaving his team up by 2 players. But Klimps is going to be able to get one back, bringing his team closer to securing around the GCU. Bozzaroni, he's playing close with the shotgun, no sights. I like where this is going. Is he going to go for a quick, aggressive swing, a Virtus Pro-like movement with that Mossberg?
It's interesting. I mean, it's very interesting. You rarely see verticality played the opposite direction. Terror is just ripping this team apart. He's caught Klimps now as well. The 4-2 in. St. Clair's attack culminating here, and the members of GCU Purple are either cut down or forced back moment by moment. Bozzaroni might be the sole saving grace of this here, but he will not be, because who else but Wide Terror will pick up the kill? Matumba trying to hold it in. He goes for the reload. It's simply too many attackers. And on to map and match point go the St. Clair Saints, overwhelming this GCU offense or defense.
It's match point, map point, series point for St. Clair's. It's all or nothing for GCU. Once again, they're in that predicament of a spot where they have to win 3 consecutive defense rounds to push themselves to an overtime. The question is, are they going to be able to do it? Or are they going to be signing off for the night? Only time will tell. But I tell you what, You got me thinking when you were talking about those two drones exchanging looks. It got me thinking about drone economy. And St. Clair have been really good on drone economy. And then it got me thinking, if anyone knows me as a caster, I like talking about drone economy. I can't get enough of it. It's my favorite thing to talk about. I've been talking about it for years, and I will never stop. I've been recognized as the certified drone economy today. I'll tell you a story. Today, I was playing ranked, okay? I was with my friends, and all of a sudden, I noticed someone, and I feel like I know them, and they recognized me, not due to my name, but due to the fact I was the drone economy caster. It goes to
Fair
show,
enough.
if you talk about stuff long enough, people do take notice. So I
They
feel
do.
like maybe St. Clair's have watched a cast where they're like, Carpi's casting. Gotta make sure the drone economy is high, otherwise he's gonna tear us to pieces. He's gonna shred us like a paper shredder.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of stuff that's getting shredded, Rapid will be one of those things, along with a Breach. But Glimpse, we're playing a little aggressive here. Instead, another exothermic charge rings out. GCU Purple really playing aggressive here, switching up the playstyle.
Unfortunately, this all just feels a little too close to what we saw over on Border. They've gone up. I mean, they've got to win 3 straight here. So far, that has kind of eluded them. Is it impossible? No. Is it going to be very difficult? Yes. And you can see the kind of players here of St. Clair Saints stacking up for this vertical take. And once they do control the vertical, I mean, I can only imagine that life is going to become increasingly difficult for the GCU Purple players who are down underneath. And of course, the threat of White Terror is pretty much a constant in this map. Baka is dropped, though. That's a good kill right there. That's one that they think they desperately needed. There's still a lot of work to be done as White Terror strikes, and it's Clips who is the victim.
It's not looking particularly great for St. Clair Saints. It looks like GCU might be able to secure themselves another round, but Brozoni ready with a Pokeball in hand. He's ready. A C4 is ripped. The barrier gets destroyed. Are we going to hear that C4 go? It's going to be the Pokeball instead. As Brozoni backs away from the door, just playing a little more passive now. They realize they're in a 4v2. They don't need to play as aggressive, but Brozoni suddenly switches his mindset and pushes up on the door, but he does get downed by Corey. It's down to Matumba, Example, and Smiley to close out this round here. Example going to take a tiny bit of damage. What a toss from Matumba. But Salty Boy's going to get 1-2 an Example, and all of a sudden, the round isn't looking so great. Corey Rob's going to finish off Brozoni here, but oh, he sees him drop down. There's 30 seconds on the board. It's a 2 versus 2. All of a sudden, the round is different.
Very tense. It's very tense now. 2-2 on a match point as well. A critical round. And Matumba and Smiley have backed off. They just don't want to get engaged. They want Salty Boy to come to them. Salty Boy goes in for the check. The shots are in. Corey Rob is down. An attempt by Salty Boy to go the other direction. Salty Boy, his attention is split. He throws out the tracks. That's a good play. Doubles back into the next room. He can catch him looking through the door, but he doesn't. It's Matumba who gets the finish, but really credit should go to his partner Smiley for following that up. Matumba was just spamming shots from downrange on the shotgun to get that one.
I mean, Matumba, I think we should probably mention that the shotguns are they're meant for close range. I know that Ubisoft said they buffed shotguns, Matumba. Was it Matumba with the shotgun last round?
I think it was Matumba with the shotgun, yeah.
Matumba? Matumba, I know Ubisoft mentioned that they had buffed shotguns, but don't think we're quite at the stage where we can whip out the Mossberg and snipe someone across the map. You might need to look towards the Boss G for that one.
Just enough damage. Just enough damage. That's how it was. I think the other shots coming in from the Legion might have been a little bit more impactful. But that's 1 round out of 3, by the way. If we're gonna get your overtime prediction here, Carpi, we've got to see 2 more from GCU Purple. And that is, according to all things, a difficult prospect for them to string that many together. But we're back down to Tank, and maybe Tank will be another winner for them. I think they were here last time; they pulled off a win, so maybe they'll do it again.
Yeah, no, they did manage to pull off a win. You're right, GCU did manage to pull a win on Tank and Assembly, but it is like we talked about when I questioned what makes a primary site a primary site. Like you said, it is a hard site to defend because of the destructibility, because of the size of it. Oh no, they're going for a St. Clair's are in. But GCU are blissfully unaware. The plant's going down. No, Example's going to get one, but White Terror is going to be taken off the board. It's a 4 versus 5. The plant is down. No, it's not. It's a 3 versus 5. It's a 2 versus 5. Smiley picks up 2. And all of a sudden, it's not looking great for St. Clair Saints. Calypso is going to get one onto Rapid, and all of a sudden, Salty's in that 1vx scenario that he does not wish to be in. That's it.
Wow.
That's all she wrote. Climps closes out on Salty Boy, and GCU, they are 1 round away from sending us to overtime.
You know, it's interesting, honestly. I can kind of see why that worked. Like, I can definitely see why that, or not why that worked, why that was attempted, I guess would be a better thing to say. I can see where the thought process was there for the St. Clair Saints, right? Because you're trying to take them off guard. You're trying to get GCU Purple flat-footed. It's just that, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and I think it might have been that they, well, I could explain it, but I feel like I would need X's and O's and it'd be a lot better. Basically, they culminated too early. They stopped. They should have kept pressing the attack, and they kind of stopped to plant the diffuser with the intention of covering it, and that surrendered the initiative over to GCU, who were able to clap back. But, I mean, 1 more round to go, and we will get that overtime. We are so very, very close to overtime right now.
You are indeed correct. GCU are really looking to push us out of regulation rounds and into overtime. But St. Clair Saints, they almost had it. Like, GCU was so unaware, they were so confused, they heard a bang and that was it. Suddenly 5 St. Clair's players had spawned into Assembly, and they didn't know what to do, but the plant was going down, and
10 seconds left before insertion.
if only that was a post-plant scenario, maybe we'd be looking at a different story. Maybe me and Corbec would be saying goodnight to the Twitch chat right now if they managed to get that plant down, but, you know, maybe in another universe. Only... Gosh, I've lost it. I've hit the wall, I think.
It's okay. On they go. And we'll see now if the St. Clair Saints can just close this one out. The impetus on them. It's their map to win here on Night Haven. We've been playing for almost 3 hours. Can the St. Clair Saints shut it down? Example, dropping early. Why terror? But Matumba swings back and just blasts him in the face. And the best player there for the St. Clair Saints taken down. But hey, don't let them count it out just yet. They've got Rapid, they've got Salty Boy, but every time they try and approach a door up here on the top floor, they seem to be running into bullets. There's just no safe place for them to go. And a complete resetting of the lines has to happen here on the side of the St. Clair Saints. Smiley is below, and Bozaroni is repositioning here as well to try and get back in on this. Climps holding down the corridor prone. In the corridor, no less, hoping to maybe shoot someone in the foot if they'll give him the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, this is a slow play from St. Clair's. They're really biding their time as of now. Corey doing a classic quick peek around that corner, but he moves off at the very last second. Maybe if he stayed there a little longer, he would have been able to catch the glimpse of someone. Well, Rapid, just above. Trying to set the verticality, but is he aware that someone is now looking to approach him in the form as Matumba with that Mossberg and the SMG-11? Because that is not something you want to fool around with. My name is Baka. He's looking through the breach. Drones are going out. Information being sorted. I think he might have seen the legs of someone there. I'm not quite sure.
Bozaroni holding. 1 minute left in the round. Movements have to be made here. It is a 4v4, and I think it's going to come down to a furious burst of action. But these players from GCU Purple are unmarked by the St. Clair Saints. Are they setting themselves up for disaster? Clip strikes. He's been waiting down there forever. Bozzaroni getting in on it as well. The Nitro Cell over the top. And overtime lose large in the minds here of the players from the St. Clair Saints side. They've done so well to push it this far. They just have to close the distance. The frag grenade sails in. Not even a flinch out of Smiley right there. Salty Boy engaging, but Bozzaroni finds his target, and again, Salty Boy, the last member standing for the GCO Purple. They had to win 3 rounds in a row to get here. Are they going to do it? Salty Boy takes down Bozzaroni. He's still got 3 members to cut through. He's only got 7 seconds to do it, and Clips swings out of nowhere and brings him down. And there we go. Carpi, your prognostication correct. We are going to overtime.
We're there. GCU, they've managed to pull it out of the bag. They've managed to show us that what they couldn't do on Border, they're capable on Nighthaven. And they're pushing me, honestly. I hit the wall last round. I don't know how long it can go on for, to be honest with you, but I'm in for it. I'm in for the thrill, the ride of this game. It's been such a fun game to watch and cast. I mean, and now they've also given White Terror an opportunity to potentially overtake Bozzaroni's kill record that he set at the start of Oregon with 23. He's got an opportunity. He's 5 away from that opportunity. Will he be able to do it in 2 rounds or less? 3 rounds or less? Only time can tell. But GCU, they've opted for, I'd class this as a tertiary site. They've opted for a tertiary site. Your opinion on this?
Yeah, I it's always hard, especially on the newer maps, to judge which sites are which. I think maybe it's a viable tertiary, or we could consider it a tertiary. Again, I don't know. It's hard to rank, in my opinion, and Nighthaven is a weird. I hate to keep saying it. Nighthaven is a complicated map. It's weird. Oh my lord! By the way, I hate to have my stumbling there interrupted, but did you see those bullets go by Matumba's head while he was putting the reinforcement down? That was wild. He nearly died, Carpi.
Matumba, something is on your side today. Something has just saved you from the goodwill gun of White Terror, because that man is something else. But Bozzaroni, he's picking up. He's going to pick up a rapid, and he's going to put his team in a better position. But example, he's going to be downed and killed by the man, the myth legend, White Terror. But Matumba finally able to catch one back onto White Terror. Oh, why did he get off the drone back up? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Matumba says, no, I've got the SMG-11. I don't need a C4. I will swing you with my gun. And it's down to Corey and Salty. The classic duo team. 2 versus 4 scenario. We have seen them clutch a similar situation, I believe, on Border. The question is, can they do it again? It's going to take a lot of precision. They haven't got any vertical to work with. They haven't got a breach to work with. Only doors, windows, and 4 GCU Purple players.
Oh, and the saga of Salty, the survivor, ends right there. They will not be the last one alive. It's just Corey Robb here. Corey Robb steps into the bomb site. He has to shoot. It gives him away. Bozzaroni brings him down. And GCU Purple on the run back against the St. Clair Saints. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been one hell of a match between these two sides. Can GCU shut it down on the attack? That is the question here, Carpi. St. Clair Saints defense looks so solid. I think it's entirely possible that we're going to see one more side swap before everything's said and done tonight.
Yeah, no, I reckon that we're going to go 7-7 overtime match map series point. They're going to take it right to the very end. They're going to take us to round 15 maybe. St. Clair's, they're on the defense. We've seen what White Arrow can cause on the defense. He's 4 away from matching with Bozzaroni's record. He's 5 away from taking it. He's just, I don't know, maybe he's got his tune pumping. He's getting himself pumped up. He's ready. He's like, I've got this. I'm him. I'm ready to absolutely destroy. GCU Purple, on the other hand, they're talking, they're communicating. We've seen 3 switches from 3 of
10
their
seconds
players.
left
We've got the
before
gridlock
insertion.
coming out the sledge. The Monty. The Monty was an
5
interesting
seconds to
one
go.
because we've seen it before from GCU.
Attackers'
Didn't
objective is to locate a bomb
quite
and
go in
defuse
their
it.
favor, as Bozaroni might have had a little bit of an accident in the form of taking Klimps's head off, but
I have you covered.
only time will tell. Ooh, Rapid. A rather aggressive play for a team that are currently fighting for everything. Oh no, don't do it. Please say you heard it, Tara.
Rapid there on the long sight line. That's going to be very dangerous. I don't think they've got him marked. He's also got the cover of the castle barricade as well, so not a bad place to be.
Oh no.
But actually, remove the castle barricade? Oh, Terror just opens up. What good coordination and brutal ending for Bozaroni and Matumba right there. Can't say anything more about it. The MPX just roars to life, and both of them drop like so many stones. And that's going to be a little bit hard for them to fight back from this. Klimps on the Montaigne, he's trying to make something happen here, but I think, yeah, we're going to be seeing a 7-7 in just a little bit as Klimp steps through the window. It's White Terror with the triple kill, and there's only 2 bodies left. Make it 1 more quad kill for White Terror, and the ace in overtime on the defense for White Terror. He's been delivering all night long, Carpi, and he delivers when the chips are down. And now 1 round stands between these 2 teams. It has been a neck and neck fight this entire time.
I'm lost. I'm lost for words. I want to know whatever this guy's Spotify music is. I'd like to know. I sense he's probably listening to Drake. You know, that's what gets me pumped up. So, I mean, incredibly played by Whitehair. The communication between him and Rapid. You saw the hesitation from Rapid there. You saw him walk up to the window, was like, what if I pull this down? And then he said, actually, what if I pull this down and then I let Whitehair immediately start
Attackers need to locate and
blasting?
defuse
And
bombs.
that is what Whitehair did. And then he paused for a second. Whitehair managed to get 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And then that's all she wrote for that round. But we have made it, Corbec. We are in round 15. The maximum amount of rounds you can physically get in a game, unless you are playing with unlimited overtime. And if we were playing with unlimited overtime, I think we would be struggling a little more.
We would be struggling a little bit more. I think we could see this go a long ways, but we're at the final round now. This is it, round 15. It won't go any farther than this. Can GCU Purple pull it together on the defensive side, or will the members of the St. Clair Saints finish it off on the attack? I don't know. We know they can win on the attack. That is fair. St. Clair, they have done it, and they have done it well. But can they consistently win? This basement site has been a bugbear for them across this entire match. And White Terror, the player to watch. If White Terror drops early, you feel the St. Clair Saints' chances evaporating into the wind. Sitting on 24 kills right now is White Terror after that ace in the last round. He's playing the Ash, the gunner's character, the character that runs and kills things. You don't want anything more.
He's got one
Here
job.
is he's got one job. It's literally true. He's got one job. Run forward, get kills. White Terror, go kill. That's the plan here.
Yep, they've released White Terror. They've released him off the leash here, and they're like, you gotta go get him. You have got to go get that entry kill. You've got to secure us this game. You've got to boost us up here. We want to look to play in the playoffs, says St. Clair's as they set White Terror on to the roam. But are they going to be aware that Bozaroni's above? Rapid, he's going to be able to get the early kill of Klimps as that takes him off. Was he chucking a C4?
Must have been caught. Must have been caught trying to chuck a C4.
Look,
Rapid on a brutally long sightline, but look at that! The bullets go both ways. Smiley firing up. from his position secures one, and now he has to just keep an eye on that, a weather eye on that. And you can see slowly but surely members of the St. Clair Saints stepping forward. They're going to try and make this position untenable. Out comes the exothermic charge, and the mirror will not be able to hold on there for much longer. The DMR of Corey covering that down. Bozaroni now rolling out, and you feel for both of these teams the pressure outstanding here between these two sides as the Nitro Cell goes out. Salty Boy still on the top floor as the members of GCU Purple slowly but surely try to bring this one to an end. Salty Boy steps on a goo mine, but why terror? There it is. He finds the kill onto Smiley. 4-3, 40 seconds left on the clock. Time ticking away. Perhaps the greatest foe right now from the members of the St. Clair Saints. And look at that. Matumba swings back. Matumba gets two. A huge double play from Matumba, the veteran player in a critical situation. There's one more. Corey Robb is down, and Baca is the only one left. Can GCU Purple complete the run back? Baca tries to go for the kill. He doesn't find it. It's Bozaroni to finish. And GCU Purple pull themselves out of a 6-3 split to get an 8-7 victory.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible from the likes of both teams, GCU and St. Clair Saints. I mean, the feed that has been put up for us tonight, I mean, the kills, the numbers, the plays, everything that a cast